Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me. Hey, YouTube has this new thing now where they don't display people's names anymore, they only display the @. So I'm gonna have to recognize who people are based on their thumbnails, and that's gonna be interesting considering a lot of people have also made Clippy their avatar. So this is gonna be fun. But hey, Feed Me Lore and Aaron Big, Monster Slurpee, Ariel, Robbie Hughes, Bluntman, and Girl 101, Phoenix Soren, hello fellow Homo sapiens, and no worries Monster Slurpee. I think the stream might be a little more chill today because I am aware it's Thanksgiving, and in my head I'm like, oh well, Thanksgiving was yesterday, forgetting that some people go to their families' homes and they might be there for more than just the one day of Thanksgiving. So things might be a little bit quieter, but I mean, that's fine. I'm streaming on a Friday rather than Saturday because I have a bunch of corrections for my job. So I'm probably gonna have to, well, not probably, I'm gonna have to do them tomorrow. So I might be a little bit exhausted tomorrow. So I figured, well, I might as well stream today after work and then set that aside to do my corrections tomorrow so that they're in time for Monday. So that's why we're streaming on a Friday. Why the Clippy thing? It's like a protest against YouTube's new nonsense where they want you to verify you're an adult visually, through an ID or something, and a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm not doing that, and they just made Clippy their avatar as a big how are you planning to reinforce this rule kind of thing. So that's what that is. Guys can hear me? Okay, great. Because America has half a dozen time zones. That's the other thing. Don't you guys have 3? I know Australia has 3 time zones. I think America has 3 or 4. I'm glad you decided to stream today because I'm planning on watching a really long video tomorrow. Oh, I think I know which video you mean. Yeah, if you're talking about Mauler's video, that's coming out tomorrow, and he has said several times that video is going to be 17 hours long. Not as a joke. That's the actual runtime of the video. So yeah, that's coming out tomorrow. But hey guys, how are you? Is it already? Okay, it's actually after 9. I decided, well, I'll come online because I hate sitting around and waiting for the clock to hit 9 o'clock on the dot. It's really frustrating to sit here for 3 minutes. So I figured I'll just play the music, and once it actually becomes 9 o'clock, then I'll get started. Hey Puffs, it's me, your boy. What's that video about? Mauler decided to make a complete breakdown on that Star Wars game that came out last year or something. I think is it made by Ubisoft or EA? One of them. I think it might be Ubisoft. And I've only seen snippets of it. It looks really terrible if you're a Star Wars fan. The amount of nonsense that's in that game just seems astronomical. So I can imagine that he has 17 hours to complain about it. Star Wars Outlaws by Ubisoft. Oh, it is Ubisoft. Yeah, so that's what the 17-hour video is about, apparently. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And it'll keep me company while I do my corrections, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm not excited about doing corrections on a weekend, but I mean, it's part of the job, right? Before I start yapping, we have to decide who we're drawing today. Modern Star Wars just makes me sad, bro. Speaking of that, right, as I've said before, I'm not a Nintendo person. Nintendo never really had much of a presence in this country. I feel so bad for the Nintendo fans right now. Ever since the Metroid early reviews started dropping and they revealed what they did to Metroid, I feel so bad for people. I genuinely feel horrible for Metroid fans, especially as somebody who had the trauma of Veilguard and had to like deal with Veilguard. I feel very, very bad for Metroid fans. Like I'm genuinely sad. I'm like, oh, that's awful. I'm so sorry. That's so awful. Mola has recently been playing Look Outside. Have you heard or played it by any chance? No, I have not. I generally don't watch Mauler's game streams. I mainly stick with Vinny and Joel, but Joel is a very different experience to Vinny. Want to suggest Vox? We can do Vox. That might actually be a good idea. I haven't kept up with Hazbin Hotel because I'm working and I want to give it my proper attention. Mostly I've just been rewatching Lupin the Third the whole time, because Lupin the Third is something I can just put on and have fun with, and I can just not really get too like wrapped up in like maybe you guys have that thing too, like, because animation is my job, right? It is very hard sometimes to watch something animated because that little voice that does the thinking never shuts up. It never shuts up. So when I'm watching something animated, I'm just automatically, my brain is like firing off on like all frequencies, analyzing like the animation, the background, the movement, the posing, the how the characters are drawn, the storyboarding. Like, that does not turn off. It does not shut off. Even if I'm enjoying something, it just does not turn off. It's impossible. And Lupin the Third, because it's like a 70s, well, it's not like it is, it's a 70s anime, I can kind of just relax a little bit more, because the things that are not great about it are like just charming and just kind of part of the appeal. So it's very easy to just put on an episode, because they're episodic as well. There's no like grand storyline. You just put on an episode, you watch it. If it sucks, it sucks. If it's great, it's great. And you just kind of enjoy it. And that's it. No sci-fi franchise is being run well right now. Yeah, you could like, sorry, I'm trying to think what kind of pose I can give this guy. You could write an entire dissertation about the state of sci-fi and why it is the way it is at the moment. Oh, you know what? This is actually a really cool pose. We can do something like this. Hold on. Let me just copy this image. And part of me wonders if it has something to do with the fact that sci-fi has so desperately tried to market itself to people who would not normally be interested in sci-fi. And because sci-fi knows it has this new audience, it's like very self-conscious about the fact that it is sci-fi. So I think I might have talked about this before. So it like dumbs itself down because it thinks, oh, well, non-nerds are watching this. We can't be as smart as we used to. And then the new audience, they either just accept it because they think, oh, this is what sci-fi has always been, hasn't it? Or they're like, wow, this is very lame. I can't believe nerds like this kind of thing. I swear you could make a really interesting argument about this. It would not be me, because I do not have any kind of sociology degree or any kind of psychology degree. But I think there's something there. There's something you could really get into the meat of with the current state, the absolute state of sci-fi. Not that it's like terrible everywhere, obviously. That's kind of like black and white thinking to think, oh, well, all of it sucks. I think it's just like I don't want to say the main things, but a lot of people have caught on to the fact that people like it. So it's just like the things that get the most marketing, because it's not even the things that like are the most talked about. It's just the things that are shoved the most in people's faces that have a tendency to be kind of like really lukewarm at the moment. Cute new little VTuber model. Thank you. I keep wanting to like upgrade her because I realize maybe a chibi model is not the best, because people tend to treat a streamer a certain way when they have a chibi model. At least that's what Iron Mouse said. But I just haven't had time to like upgrade her to something that resembles my video avatar a little bit closer. So this is what we're sticking with now. But she's fine for now. She looks good. And she was like my first try, and I'm like, yeah, that's good enough. It's not like a real, it's more a PNG tuber. She just has like pegs and things, so she moves when the mic detects sound. But I like her, and I think it's pretty cool. How do I want this pose to go? Do I want it like this over his head, like this? Or do I want it like here, like this? Actually, yeah, I like that more. Hold on. Get rid of this. Get this arm down here, and then we can have it like this. Yeah. He doesn't have... Oh, no, he does have quite a neck, so I might have to stretch this up a little higher, and I'll probably need to make the TV screen a bit bigger because his proportions are more cartoony and like exaggerated than I usually am used to. It took me like my whole life to unlearn drawing characters with like really enormous heads. So now to like go back to drawing characters with really enormous heads, you have to like fight the instinct that you had to unlearn in the first place. So okay, and he's got like a big bow tie, and then he doesn't really have much like secondary. He doesn't have a lot of things that would do secondary animation. He's kind of very sleek just as is, which is very smart because it means that when he moves, you don't have to worry about a whole bunch of fabric or secondary animation, which takes a lot of effort and timing and planning, and it's a real schlep. As someone who likes to animate, what's your opinion on Gertie the dinosaur? I love Gertie the dinosaur. I absolutely love that short. I think it's so charming and cute, and I think Gertie herself is really charming and cute. And I think most versions of Gertie the dinosaur on YouTube includes what's the man's name? I know his name, but as I've said before, I'm terrible with names. I want to say McKean, but I don't think it's McKean. I forget the man's name. The versions of Gertie the dinosaur on YouTube actually has like the small live action segment of him where Gertie picks him up. It's just really cute and I really like it. Though I do agree a lot of audiences don't want to actively think, engage with. When it comes to some movies and TV shows, all passive rather than active engagement. Yeah, I think that's part of it. And the thing is, right, and it's difficult for me to kind of keep this in mind just because, you know, animation and such is my job. I always have to remind myself that the vast majority of people out there, they treat media as a respite from their actual real world jobs. Like they have to use their brains and their energy on what they actually do for a living. So when they watch a movie or TV show, they don't really want to sit there and think about it too hard because they're worn out from like their actual job. And so if something is kind of bad and they're like, yeah, it was fine, it might just be because they're not analyzing it that deeply, and it's not because they're stupid. It's literally just because, well, they've got other things that they focus on most of the day. They don't want to also focus on a bunch of like film trivia while they're trying to relax after working, you know, retail or something. Holy crap, she's doing a live stream on a Friday. Yeah, I have to work tomorrow because I have a bunch of corrections. And I want to get them done for Monday because if I start doing them on Monday, they're only going to get in by Tuesday, and I like lose an entire day, and I don't want to lose a day. We can't really do that at the moment. Okay, so he does have a frame. Just checking if it's like an LCD screen or if he actually has a frame in his little screen. Who are we drawing? Somebody asked for Vox, and even though I'm not caught up with Has Been Hotel, I think that's a good idea because I know everybody is going rabid about it at the moment, which is great. I'm really happy to see that, according to my friend who's a big fan of it, apparently the second season like really improved upon the first season, and they kind of have a better idea of what they want to do with the show, like it's more focused. So I'm very happy to see that the fan response has been very positive towards that. And I'm looking forward to finally like sitting down and watching it myself when I one day have time again. Hey Sipaf, I was just wondering, have you watched any Smiling Friends? No, because it's on, it's like on Adult Swim, I think. I think it's Adult Swim or HBO Max, which is not available in my country. So I have to like find it elsewhere. And, you know, that takes extra time and effort, and I just haven't had the energy to sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna go find it, and then I'm gonna, you know, have it play on my PC in some form or another. Like, it's a bit of a hunt to do it that way. Hey, Jim. No, you haven't missed much. So that's why I haven't gotten to it yet, because it's not so simple as just like putting it on and watching it. I have to like physically go hunting for it. And a lot of times I'm just like, ugh, I really don't feel like dealing with that kind of like, not even stress, just like, where do I find this? Will it transfer itself to my machine? I'm trying to think how I can say this without getting in trouble with Daddy G. But you know what I mean. So I haven't gotten to it yet, but I hear it's really good. And apparently, like, Doug Walker is a cameo in one of the episodes, so I kind of want to see that, just because I genuinely think he could probably be very funny in it. Because say what you want about the nostalgia critic, he has a really good sense of humor about himself. Like, he is very self-aware of what he is. His response to SpongeBob making fun of him is like one of my favorite things I think I've seen him do. It's really good. So I do want to sit down and watch Smiling Friends, because it does sound like my kind of humor, where it's just kind of, it's a mix of like really dumb and kind of heartfelt sometimes without being saccharine. And it sounds great. And I really like the character designs. It looks like it's up my alley. A lot of errands to run this morning. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. I'm just working very hard, because once again, we're still in end of production, and a lot of work needs to get done. So working hard. And one thing that's kind of been getting me down is I really have ideas for things I just want to draw myself, like fan art and stuff I want to make, and I just do not have time. I don't have time, and I don't have energy, and that's kind of getting me down, because I want to like have that outlet, like that expressive outlet of like, I must do art kind of thing, and I just can't right now. So that kind of sucks. But like, that's also my biggest complaint. So that's not too bad if that's the biggest thing I have to complain about. Okay, so let's see if his legs go like that. So this line would be here. Be like that, I believe. I kind of have to like fudge this, because I didn't draw where his feet are. So I just kind of make it look, give the suggestion that the feet are down there somewhere. Yeah, he's pretty tight with the Only Play guys now. I mean, that's great. And like I said, I think that's the right thing to do. If you're going to be like a meme, for lack of a better word, like if the internet is going to treat you like a meme, just kind of leaning into it and not taking yourself too seriously is the best thing to do. Because I think he did try and vent his frustrations about how the internet was seeing him when he made that absolutely terrible review of The Wall, and that really backfired. And I think he's kind of just learned to just be like, yeah, you know what, it's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal if the internet makes fun of you. It's everything is okay. It's actually okay to just joke about the fact that you're seen as this like clown on the internet. You know, it's if you are a clown on the internet because of a character you play, that is a lot better than being a clown on the internet because of the person you are. You know what I mean? If only Linkara could learn that. Yeah. I don't know whether Linkara will ever really be able to accept that like self-criticism. I think he's a little bit too sensitive for that, to his own detriment. But I don't know the guy. I just feel like, you know, when Only Plays makes fun of you and you kick and scream and you make a big boy about it, and you kind of just get known as the guy who couldn't take it, and then you have like Doug Walker, who Only Plays makes fun of, and Doug just kind of rolls with it, and now they're friends. Like, what's that? I think it's a Superman quote where it's like, the best the best thing you can do to your enemy is make them your friend, because you reduce their ranks by 1 and like build your own ranks by 1, something like that. I'm butchering that, but you know what I mean. How is this man's fingers? Oh, he has like the, they're not quite Invader-Zim fingers, but they kind of are. That's fine. I'll tap into my Invader-Zim fangirl roots. So you just do it like that. And he has 3, so let's do that. Thumb on the back side, so I don't need to draw it because you can't see it from this angle. How did I want to do this? I wanted his head. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's fine. You know, CPUF, we're still waiting for you to review the second half of Velma Season 2. I know! I'm getting to it. Like I said, it's just production that's standing in my way. I have the script written up, and as soon as production is done, which I don't know when it'll be done, it should be by December if we hit our deadlines, but we'll have to see. We're kind of scrambling a little bit, so it'll just depend on like when that production gets aside. Then I can finally like focus on other things, specifically Velma Season 2, because yes, that is like a thing that's like haunting me. Is like, I need to get to that. I need to get back to Velma so that I can just put Velma to bed and never think about it ever again. Oops, I'm getting a bit of poor, what do you call this? My bitrate's a bit poor, so I hope it's fine for you guys. Oh, the little thing. Yeah, that just means you're the top commenter. That's what that means. YouTube is trying to do like a thing like Twitch has, I believe. That's what that is. Oh, you guys are talking about that. Isn't Lightbringer the translation for Lucifer? I'm not sure. I'm not that clued up on, like, for lack of a better word, like Christian mythology. I'm not that clued up on it, because there's a lot. There's a lot. What video are you planning to making after you finish Velma Season 2? I have a few that I want to get to. I really want to get to the Daikon 4 video, because it's also been haunting me, but I also want to get back to like the Disney stuff. That's something I really want to dig back into. Sorry. I could do Husband, because that's also something I've been wanting to do for a while, and it would be nice to do like a cartoon that's, I want to say, similar in vibe in terms of its audience to like High Guardian Spice and My Adventures with Superman, but like cover a cartoon that's actually good. Something that's actually good and not like a complete train smash. And because I think there are interesting things to talk about with Husband regarding like character design and things like that. Let me just focus on this hand here, because I have not drawn an Invader-Zim style hand for quite a while. My pencil drawings are really rough tonight, I see, which is good. If your pencil drawings are rough, that's actually a really, really good thing, because it means that your lines are going to be a lot more fluid, which means they're going to have a lot more life into them, I say. And if that doesn't happen, then I lied, and that's not actually how that works. There we go, just move that over a bit. Turn this, there we go. Like that, I think, yes. Okay, so this one a bit more here. There we go. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe Husband. I want to get back to the Disney stuff. My biography for Disney actually arrived. Even though where I am in the Disney reviews, Disney has already died because we're up to The Little Mermaid. But I did get my biography, so that's something at least. I just looked it up. Apparently it can translate to Lightbringer, Shining One, or Lightbearer. Oh yeah, that makes kind of sense, because I know that it's also the name for like the Morning Star. That's why, like in the Lucifer TV show, Lucifer's last name is Lucifer Morningstar. That's literally why that is. And also, I think in Utena, Akio, I think Akio itself, like the name, is the name of the evening star. I believe, if I remember correctly. I know that Akio's name in Japanese is also a translation for Lucifer. Actually, I want this hand more splayed. I'm gonna cheat it a little bit. Oh wait, this one goes here. Okay, I see what I'm doing. And this one goes more like that. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. And this hand is very small in comparison, and this arm is quite long. Let's fix that. And I'm still on both layers. That's fine. Utena mentioned? Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, don't ask how I got into this topic. As for things that are on your bingo cards, for things I always talk about in every single stream, Mass Effect is currently on sale for 90% off. The Legendary Edition is for sale for $6. If you do not have Mass Effect, go and buy it. It's $6 on Steam. And that is all 3 games plus all DLC, everything for $6. Go and get it if you don't have it. But yes, yeah, I think Akio is the Morning Star. I like the Japanese name for Morning Star as well. I'll have to double check, but I can't do that like while I'm streaming, because I would have to like go to Empty Movement, the website, and like check there, because they'll probably have a breakdown of it somewhere. Okay, let's drag this guy closer, because now I have to do his face. So this is going to be interesting. Maybe I'll make a new layer just in case I screw up. Do this. Go different color. There we go. Bought it a while ago. Okay, great. I'd get games on Steam, but I don't have enough space on my computer. Yeah, I've got a bunch of games on my PC, but even with the PC space, I have a bunch of games that I just have not installed yet because I don't have the space at all. Because I have like I have Kingdom Come Deliverance, which I still need to play, and I've got Red Dead Redemption 2. But then I have, what are the other ones that I haven't got installed? Persona 4 Golden, that's not installed. Death Stranding, I haven't installed that yet. Divinity 1 and 2, I still need to install that. The Dragon Age games, haven't installed those. What else is here that's like quite beefy? When did I get Little Nightmares? Why do I have Little Nightmares like Enhanced Edition? When did I get this? Oh well. I've got Mass Effect Andromeda, which isn't installed. I've got Pathfinder, Pathfinder Kingmaker, and Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. So yeah, I've got like a bunch of things. Oh, and I've got KOTOR 1 and 2 as well. I need to install those at some point. But Mass Effect, I think it's like 100 gigs, because again, it is 3 games. But yes, get it if you don't have it. And play it. His mouth like does not stay within the confines of his screen. I see, like they will just have his mouth like completely just break camera barrier, which is kind of cool. Okay, so his mouth, it doesn't really get more than like the 3 segments. It just kind of has those 3 segments and that's it. And then it does this. Oops, no, not that way. This way. Yes. Like that. And does he have... He kind of has like squint lines, but they're not really as big as I would have expected. And I see they also don't really stay within the confines of the screen for his eyebrows and things.
You have received a new message.
Oh, thank you, Avina. Oh, thank you, Indigo. 2030 prediction. 2 episodes per season of anime. Oh, I hope not. 2 episodes per season of anime. Yeah, but I don't want to say the way the things are going, but more like you have to wait like 20 years between seasons. But as I said, I've been watching Lupin the Third Series 2. And how many years was it between Series 3 and Series 4? Series 3 came out in, I think it's 1984? 1986 or 1984. And then Part 4 of Lupin came out in 2015. So, I mean, it could be worse. I found this for the Akio stuff. The name Akio means dawn and light. Yeah, see, because there's an entire scene in Utena where he's like creepily talking to Utena in the observatory, and he's like explaining Venus, and he explains to Utena that Venus is the brightest star in the night sky. My name is derived from Venus. There's another word for it, which is Lucifer, and like it's a great scene, but it's a really terrible scene because it's highly uncomfortable by design. Like it's meant to give you the ick, and it does that very, very well. But I remember that quite clearly. Like, that's why I'm sure it means like Lucifer or something, because Akio gives this big speech about it. Why? I don't know. The thing is, Akio is such like a terrible person. I think he probably did it because he thought it sounded cool. Like in his screwed up head, he's like, oh, I'll tell Utena this because it'll make me sound so cool. And Akio is so cringe. He's such a terrible person. And he's really, really cringe and awful. This is an awful, awful person. I don't want to say character because he's actually a really good character. He's just like a horrible person. Akio is just a cool dude simply talking to a little girl. Yeah, no. That's why in like my Utena review, I had like a crawl of every single trigger warning for that anime, because some of it is really like purposefully upsetting in a way where it's like, listen, the anime is fully aware of what it's talking about is terrible, and it's not glamorizing it. It's purposefully showing you how terrible these things are, but that means these things have to be in the anime for it to be able to talk about it. So you need to be able to be okay with this existing within the anime so it can tell you, listen, this is terrible. That's like, not to go off. Oh, you got an ad? How bad are the ads? Let me check that. Monetization, how often? Okay, no, they're not set too bad, so I'm not going to touch that. As long as they're not like happening every 5 minutes. I was saying, I don't want to get into this too much, but I always think of that list that Lily Orchard made a few years ago. I believe she's deleted it now. Of like rules of good writing, which everybody clowned on for a good while. And there's like one of her rules where she's like, if you have a romantic relationship between an adult and a minor, that's a terrible thing to have in your show. And I remember thinking about that, and you know, on its surface you're like, well, obviously. But then I remember, like on Nutella, the entire point of that show is to purposefully illustrate how terrible that dynamic is. And you can't illustrate how terrible that dynamic is without having the dynamic. And Nana, which is another anime, also has that within it to specifically discuss the dynamic. And in Nana's case, it's even more like muddy, because in Nana's case, it's, well, by very definition of the events, the guy who has a relationship with Nana while she's in high school is terrible. But he's not Akio, you know what I mean? He's just some guy who has an affair with a girl who's much too young for him. They both know it's not going to lead anywhere, and then he eventually breaks it off with her. And the entire point of that plot line is to show the damage that kind of relationship can do, even when the young person in the relationship thought they were aware of what they were getting into, and the entire point of that relationship in the show is to be like, no, it's bad. It is a bad thing. And again, you can't have that discussion about the show and those topics if you don't portray those topics. So I take umbrage with that rule of Lily Orchard, because again, on paper it sounds like an obvious one, but if you stop and think about it for a few minutes, you're like, wait a second. So yeah, even the most obvious rule on Lily Orchard's don't do this list is something you can like stick a finger in the air and be like, actually. And I just thought that was really interesting. She said that slice of life is better than every other genre of writing. Yeah, which is weird because, okay, Lily Orchard is weird. She is a weird person. So everything that she says, I would have the caveat of being like, well, that's weird. But the thing with the whole like slice of life thing is she only says that because she likes it. So to be like, oh, it's the best genre, for lack of a better word, of everything is such a weird take, because it's like, no, that's just because you like it. That doesn't make it the best. That's we're confusing subjectivity and objectivity here. You know, you can't just be like, oh, I like this, therefore it's the best. Like that's a child's understanding of how the world works. That's not how that works. I see somebody said, Adam Fishkin said something? Oh, context is everything. Yeah. It's just bizarre to me because, for example, right, I don't like Interstellar, the movie. I don't like that movie. I didn't really have fun watching that movie. But if you look at my Letterboxd review of it, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Because even though I did not like it, I could recognize that it is a very good movie. It is a very, very good movie. It is well written, well shot, well directed. Everything about that movie is really well done. I just did not like it. That's a separate discussion from whether it is good or bad. So to be like, oh, slice of life is the best genre because I like it, it's just a bizarre way to think about things, in my opinion. Her proof was saying Friends is more popular than your fave anime, which is another insane statement to make. Because, like, I like Friends. I really like Friends. I'm a big fan of Friends. I know way too much about those characters than anyone really should. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, Friends, much more popular than Dragon Ball Z, right? I mean, that's just an insane phrase to say. Like, that's the kind of thing that you could say online and people would be like, okay, well, that's obvious rage bait just because it's so incorrect. It's like saying, oh, the sun is blue. It's like, no, that's just a factually incorrect statement. How many of those Lily rules broke when she wrote Stockholm? Oh, let's not even talk about that, quite frankly. Like, legitimately, I don't even want to talk about that because that's just like a really messy subject. But yeah, like the whole like, oh, I don't know. Again, trying to understand the logic of, oh, Friends is more popular than your favorite anime. It's just a bizarre statement. It's a bizarre statement that you can't even get angry at because you're like, that's just factually incorrect. I don't know how to argue with this because you're just wrong. It's just an incorrect thing to say. I like Friends too. I wish I had somehow known. No, Friends is great. I know people complain that, oh, it hasn't aged well. And I've heard like some people say they don't want to watch it because of Ross. And I'm like, Ross is supposed to be terrible. Ross within the show is constantly made fun of for being a terrible person. And he's not terrible in a way where he's like, oh, he's a monster. No, he's just kind of terrible in that way where you have met guys like this. You know this kind of person. And they're really annoying and they're really terrible. And in this case, with Friends, you just kind of put up with him because you've been friends forever and he's part of the group. So he's just kind of a constant and he's constantly like breaking up and getting back together with the one girl of the group. So he's just there and you just kind of gotta deal with it. also, I think that it's sorry, I'm just going to go on a bit of a rant regarding Friends. I feel it is not nice or great to complain that, oh, Friends hasn't aged well or whatever. I don't fully understand that argument. Because Friends was a lot like Steven Universe, where it really pushed what was allowed to be shown on television. One of the side characters, not a main character, fair enough, but one of the side characters is Ross's ex-wife, who divorced him because she came out as a lesbian. And they had like a lesbian wedding in Friends, and they really had to fight to portray that in like a sitcom. It was like a whole thing. And they really pushed for that episode to happen. So I don't really understand the whole, oh, Friends aged badly thing. I'm sure there's a few homophobic jokes in there because it was made in the 90s. But yeah, it's just it's a strange argument, in my opinion. Also, Friends can be pretty fucked up interpersonally, right? Like a good show, but not exactly something to model. Not like Always Sunny, but lots of sitcom tropes don't translate to reality, and that's fine. Yeah, I saw a Tumblr post where somebody really put it into really good perspective, where there's a big argument of like, oh, fiction isn't reality. You shouldn't judge fiction with the same morality as you would real life. But somebody said a better metric would be fiction is not educational. And I think that's a very good way to think about it. It's like, the sitcom Friends is not meant to be educational. It's not supposed to depict a healthy relationship. It's supposed to be funny. And the funniness comes from a friend group with a bunch of dysfunctional adults. That is the humor of that show. It's not supposed to depict like father knows best 1950s sitcom. That's not what it's trying to do. Anyway, I just needed to rant about that because I don't often get to talk about Friends. Ross turned out to be a homophobe. Yeah, but again, the show makes fun of him for it. Like, they don't like lynch him in the streets for it or anything, but there's communication where it's like, Ross, you need to shut up. He has like a mental breakdown because his son likes a Barbie doll more than he wants to play with a truck or a G.I. Joe. And his son is like, what, 3 in the show? The son is like 3 years old. And Ross has a meltdown because his son wants to play with Barbies more than anything. And literally every other character in the show is fine with it. Every other character in the show is like, Ross, what is your problem? I don't know how to tell you this. He's supposed to be wrong. You're not supposed to agree with Ross. That's the whole joke. I was born during season 5 of Friends, season 10 of The Simpsons, season 24 of SNL, and season 36 of General Hospital. I don't even know those stats for myself. Also, something like Steven Universe, which is for kid, is totally valid for approaching dark and a difficult subject because kids need that too. Yeah, I mean, that's true too. Yeah. Oh no, my son is playing with the wrong type of doll. Like, literally, that's what the episode is about. There's also this great shot that lives in my mind rent-free, where Ross goes to pick up his son, because they have like joint custody. He goes to pick up his son from his ex-wife, and he's standing around like awkwardly in her apartment where she lives with her new wife. And he looks at the bookcase, and while he's waiting for his son, he just says to his wife, he's like, wow, you have a lot of books about being a lesbian. And she just kind of stares at him with this expression like she wants him to melt. And it's really funny. It's really, really good. Friends is a good show. I will stand by that. I literally will stand by that. There are a lot of sitcoms that came out way after Friends who did not age well, but Friends is not one of them. Anyway, like I said, I needed to go on a rant about Friends. But we were talking about like Friends being more popular than your favorite anime. That's such a weird thing to say as well, because like, how do I put this? Saying like your favorite anime is clearly just something said in that way to be instigating to the audience. Like specifically to be like, haha, your taste is shit. It doesn't matter what your favorite anime is, your taste is shit. Like that to me is what saying it with that wording implies. But again, it's just factually incorrect because, okay, my favorite anime is Utena, and Friends is more popular than Utena. That is true. But Friends is not more popular than Dragon Ball Z. Very, very few things in the world are more popular than Dragon Ball Z, and rightfully so, because Dragon Ball Z, the manga at least, I haven't watched the entire show because there's a lot of padding, but the manga for Dragon Ball Z is legitimately very, very well written. It is a really well written story. So it's like, I don't understand the point you're trying to make here. And I often think like arguments like that, sometimes they kind of start falling into the realm of being like really racist in a certain way. And I'm not saying that in like a, this is racist, you know, like a woke thing. I mean specifically, you see this quite often these days where if you like say, oh, I really like anime, there's like a bunch of people who would be like, oh yeah, anime, we know what those anime are full of and things like that. So like, oops, wrong one. So Lily Orchard being like, oh, Friends is more popular than your favorite anime. Again, it kind of, it makes me raise an eyebrow. Like, what did you mean by that? Could you please elaborate? Because I know what she said about anime in other clips. And I just feel like, I think I need you to elaborate on that one because I feel like what you're implying here might not be the best. But anyway, I don't want to like rant about like Lily Orchard this whole stream. It's just, I sometimes think about the insane things she said, and they are so insane that I just turn them over in my head, like over and over, because they're so lacking in logic that my brain tries to like figure out what did she mean by this. And not like in a meme way, like legitimately, I don't understand what she meant by this. And I know she meant something. She in her own mind had a point. So a lot of the times I'm like, what point is she trying to make? That's why I often think about some of the things she said. I'm just like, this must mean something. Just put an episode of Dragon Ball Z in a Latin American restaurant and everyone will stop to watch it. Yeah, for real. Like, actually though, when Akira Toriyama passed away, like, the cartels in South America as a whole had like a ceasefire for like several days. That is a level of popularity that is unheard of, right? That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. The like amount of impact that Dragon Ball Z has. Somebody pointed out as well, like maybe I can find like the visual aid for this. They pointed out on Tumblr that without Akira Toriyama, like at least half of a lot of pop culture stuff like literally would just not exist. It is this one. So if I can find this image, yes. So if I can find this, and they showed two images right next to each other to illustrate their point. And when they did this, it blew my mind. So they had Gohan from the Cell Saga, and then they did this. If I can find the image, where is it? Ah, here we are. Copy this. Go back to your chat. Like actually. Like actually. The reach of Akira Toriyama's influence is insane if you really stop and analyze everything that like took inspiration or visual cues or the man like basically almost single-handedly created like the battle manga genre, right? Oh wow, yeah! Like I never thought about that before until I saw Gohan and Cloud next to each other. And I was like, wait a minute. That's crazy. Because I knew like Cloud, I knew that the Buster Sword is basically, it's inspired by the Dragon Slayer from Berserk. But the Dragon Ball Z connection just did not click with me. I do know, obviously, it's the Dragon Ball Z influence on Sonic, I mean, is really obvious. So that's another one where if Dragon Ball Z didn't exist, Shadow the Hedgehog would not exist. Like, that character would just not exist, period. It's not even that, oh, Super Sonic would be a little bit different, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, no, that character would not exist if Dragon Ball Z didn't exist. I think the first time I saw DBZ was the parody of it, codenamed Kids Next Door. I actually saw it because it did air on South African TV in like the late 90s, early 2000s. But it was like, I think the Ocean dub or something. And even as a child, I remember being furious with it. Again, this is how I became a subs over dubs person. It was the awful Sailor Moon dub and watching Dragon Ball Z. And they're on Namek. And Gohan is busy like making graves for all the Namekians who have just been killed by Piccolo. So it's this shot of Gohan like making these like just graves upon graves for these poor Namekians. And then he stands up, wipes his brow, and then the dub has him say, "Gee, I hope everyone got away okay." And child me was like, what the hell are you talking about, Gohan? What is this? Like, child me was just flabbergasted. I was like, what do you mean you hope everyone got away? What what is going on? So yeah, that also contributed heavily to me only watching things subtitled. Because I'm like, no, I reject this. I'm not accepting this. You're just lying to me now. I think that's it. It's like, this TV show is lying to me. I've never experienced that before as like a child. I've never had a TV show just lie to me about what's happening on screen. I'm sort of convinced Shadow was at least partially inspired by Mewtwo from the first Pokemon movie. Maybe. Like, what are the dates? That's actually a good point. Because Shadow showed up in Sonic Adventure. Let me check. Sonic Adventure is, what's the date? 1998. Maybe. So, Pokemon the movie. I have to check the Japanese release. Okay, yeah, Pokemon the first movie, 1998, but is that the English release or is that the Japanese release? Film was first released in Japan on July. Oh, wait a second. If it's July 1998 for Pokemon the first movie, Sonic, oh, it's Sonic Adventure. Oh no, it's Sonic Adventure 2. Sorry. No. Then it absolutely lines up. Yes. Then it absolutely lines up. You know, you might be right. You might actually be right in that the two are, like, it's heavily inspired by Mewtwo. I never thought of that. That's crazy. That's Sonic Adventure was 2001. Okay, yeah, then that matches up. That's interesting. That's like really interesting. I'm gonna have to think about that for a while. That's like really, really fascinating. The English release was 2000. No, it wasn't. Because Pokemon the second movie came out, and the second Pokemon movie was specifically marketed as Pokemon the Movie 2000. And I remember that because I watched that in theaters. And I remember Pokemon the Movie 2000 came out not that long after the first movie, but it was after the first movie. And for comparison, the first movie did not release in theaters here, but the second one did. And it was specifically because the first Pokemon movie was so popular. Anyway. Remember when you drew Momoko from Oja Moja Doremi last year? Did you ever get around to watching that show? No, not yet. As I said, I've lately just been watching Lupin the Third again, specifically Series 2. And the reason being is I've had the Lupin the Third Series 2 files for a while, but the last 50 or so episodes did not have good subtitles at all. They had like really broken English translated subtitles, and that's just kind of what we had to deal with. But a few years ago, Discotheque Media put out a box set with like proper subtitles for every single episode. So I kind of updated my files because I was unable to buy the Lupin DVD set when I was at Comic-Con that year. It was between that and the Rose of Versailles box set, and I got Rose of Versailles instead. So I've been rewatching Lupin the Third series too because I finally have proper subs from it. That's my point. And the reason I'm rewatching series 2 is because I actually finally want to get to series 4, 5, and 6, especially 6. So that's kind of what I've been doing. We should give Mewtwo a gun. Speaking of magical girl stuff, have you heard of I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl or Wheels and Roses? I don't know Wheels and Roses, but I am aware of I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. I've seen the animatic. And I've seen some of Kiana's Q&As that she does on Tumblr. I have opinions on I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl, but it's difficult because if I say that, it makes it sound like, oh, I hate it, which isn't true. But there were things about the animatic where I'm like, why though? And one of my big complaints was, I don't know who this is for, because it's written as if it's aiming for like a teenage audience, but then it has like a lot of swear words and F-bombs. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Indigo. If you make an Utena video essay, could I share it with you before... Oh, if I make an Utena video essays, could I share it with you before I upload it? You could, but I don't know whether I'd be able to get to it. Just again, I'm very, very busy. I don't even really have time to do art for myself. I am insanely busy, and I just know how I am as a person. I have in the past like promised people I will look at things or proofread things, and then I don't get to it, and then I feel very bad, and and then they feel very bad, and then we all just feel very bad. Hey, Dark Entries. I read that correctly. But anyway, what was I talking about? Lupin the Third, part 4, 5, and 6. And that I want to... Oh, we were talking about I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. I don't want to bash it because I don't hate it. But there were things about it that I had problems with. The big thing was, like, who is this for? I don't really understand who the target for this is. And there's like 1 or 2 lines where I'm like, why is this here? This is very strange. But a lot of my, like, confused criticisms, for lack of a better word, were answered when Kiana did a Q&A on her Tumblr and revealed that she wrote the script for that animatic in one draft. That script has not gone through a second draft. It has not gone through proofreading. She literally wrote the script and made the animatic. And that was it, because she didn't really expect it to be as big as it was. Which I don't know how she expected it not to be big, because every single thing Kiana has ever touched, like, instantly goes viral. But that's why she kind of just threw together a first draft script and made an animatic for it. And that answered a lot of my questions as to why certain things were the way they were. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I will say, it does have possibly one of my favorite jokes regarding a magical girl transformation, which is because, what's the main character's name? I forget her name. I want to call her like Kiana, but that's the creator's name. That's not the character's name. I know that she's essentially a self-insert, but I can't remember her name whatsoever. Anyway, the main character, the girl character, she doesn't want to be a magical girl, but she is one. So when she transforms into a magical girl, she just like poofs into the outfit and that's it. But when she transforms back into being a normal girl out of the magical girl outfit, there's like a full henshin. There's a full transformation sequence of her turning back into a normal girl. And I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, that is possibly one of the smartest jokes I've seen done with the magical girl transformation in a while. If not ever. That is genius. So yeah, I've seen it, and I'm interested to see where it goes from where it is right now. Like I said, specifically because Kiana has said that she wrote the script in like a first draft, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm interested to see what the show looks like when the writing has actually been polished a little bit. But I mean, other than that, it's really good in terms of like animatic. And unlike, say, Knights of Guinevere, the pacing in I Don't Want to Be a Magic Google is very good, which I said that I found the pacing in Knights of Guinevere to be a little bit not the best. Hold on, I think I need to refresh chat because I think it's stuck. Let me just hit refresh here. Sometimes that helps. There we go. The last Magical Girl show I watched was Gushing Over Magical Girls. I haven't seen that one. I'm aware of it, but I haven't seen it. Where's Firefox? There we go. I don't know if I asked this earlier, but who is it we're drawing today? I don't recognize them. Somebody asked for Vox from Has Been Hotel. And since Has Been Hotel's second season recently dropped, I figured that would be kind of cool. So we're drawing Vox, this guy here. Still need to get to Has Been Hotel properly. Does he have a scar? No, he just has like a little spike there. Okay, that's fine. Haven't gotten to it because as usual, I'm just watching anime from the 70s. Instead of watching like the hot new cartoon that came out and that everybody's talking about, I'm watching an anime from 1978. That's what I'm doing with my time. In my defense, Lupin the Third Series 2 has Hayao Miyazaki on its animation crew. So like, I you know, there is some purpose there. It looks like a Dead Leaves character. It kind of does, actually, now that you've said that. It's also like, it's kind of like you could kind of see this character in like panty and stocking. A little bit, I would think. It doesn't look exactly like a panty and stocking character, but it kind of reminds me of that. But of course, panty and stocking with garter belt was heavily inspired visually by Invadism. And I mean, Has Been Hotel is severely inspired by Johnny Vasquez's art in general. Not just Invadism, but like also Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and Squee and things like that. So, you know, they share DNA. Has Been Hotel is very much either you love it or you hate it. I think, yeah, that's kind of the impression I get. I might like it because I do like musicals. I really enjoy musicals, and from what I hear, the musical numbers in it are very good, especially because a lot of the voice actors are actual Broadway stars. So I have high hopes for the music, if nothing else. Even though I have opinions about the character designs. But if nothing else, the music should be good. I have seen the pilot. And my initial impressions, right, as somebody who hasn't sat down and caught up with it, I always felt from the pilot that the character designs are very busy. And a big problem for me is when we have a crowd shot, it's very difficult to like be aware of which character it is we're supposed to be focusing on. Like it's difficult for me to know where my eye is supposed to go in a shot. And the reason for that is because not only are the main characters really busy in terms of design, so are all the background characters. So you have like every single shot is just really, really cluttered. But that's from the pilot, and I'm curious to see whether that is a problem they managed to fix once they went to actual like broadcast, and whether that's something they managed to improve upon. Because that was like to me that was one of the biggest problems with it, is these character designs are really busy. I have to go. I have to buy new ski boots. Okay, enjoy. Is it a musical? I didn't even know. Yeah, it's a musical. Has Been Hotel, from what I've been told, is literally set up to essentially be a stage musical. Especially because there aren't many episodes to the first season, at least. So you can sit down and watch it as a singular musical experience. That's kind of the way it's been written. And from what I've heard, a lot of people kind of weirdly struggled with that. They weren't able to like get that that's the point. But again, I'm speaking from secondhand knowledge here. I'm not speaking as somebody who sat down and watched it yet. So I don't want to say too much because there is a chance that I might be ill-informed or misunderstood what people told me about it. But again, it would be very interesting to sit down and really go through it. And I think it would be fun to talk about a cartoon that is not like My Adventures with Superman, such a hard title to say. My Adventures with Superman or High Guardian Spice, and has some form of like visual identity to it. And as somebody who also grew up on DeviantArt in the early 2000s, I could also like talk a bit about that. And it's like Sparkle Dog aesthetic and the Scene Kid very much style to it. And how it looks almost exactly like art I would see in the early 2000s of specifically the people who would ship Dib and Zim together. There was a very specific art style that the people who shipped those two characters together had. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's like a boiling pot of the different elements of being like a scene kid and emo and, you know, like early 2000s anime. And then you have Invader Zim, and it like all boils together into the people who shipped Dib and Zim together. Because the people who liked that character dynamic had very specific tastes. And again, this was the early 2000s, so fandom, it was big, but I don't think it was to the scale it is today. So the fandom in general was much smaller than it is today, so the people who shipped those two characters kind of developed an art style because they all kind of were inspired by each other. The Has-Been Hotel did cast actual Broadway stars for their musical TV show. Automatically makes them smarter than a lot of execs. Yeah, that's what I heard. Like, they actually have Broadway people doing the musical numbers and playing the characters, which is what you want. I am going to have to, like, cope with the fact that I'm going to hear, like, Captain Anderson sing in Has-Been Hotel, which is going to be, I guess, fun, question mark. Most people will equate him to like Falcifer or Goliath from Gargoyles, but he'll always be Captain Anderson to me. Not gonna lie, I don't even fully know what the difference between Scene Kid and emo is. Fashion. Scene is, let me get a visual reference. Scene Kid tends to be a lot more accessorized than emo. Scene Kids are essentially what in Japan were the gyaru fashion. Like, to me, Scene and gyaru are kind of the same DNA. Okay, we'll use this girl here. I don't know who she is, but we'll just use this image. So with the Scene Kids, you had the like fashion sensibilities, which is much more along the lines of like gyaru. Whereas the emo kids, back in the day, people would make fun of them for being like goth for pansies, basically, which is not a nice thing to say, but it is also not inaccurate. It's like, it's not really mall goth, it's like a step below mall goth. Let me see if can they, okay, here we go. I was about to say, can we have a better picture than this, but I found one. So, the emo kids was kind of like the little brother to mall goth specifically. Not goth in general, but like mall goth. Whereas the Scene Kids was much more a gyaru thing, where there was a lot more accessorizing. She doesn't have a lot of accessories, but it was a lot more accessorizing, a lot more attention to the hair especially, and it tended to be like a black foundation and then a lot of like neon colors on top of black, whereas the emo kids, it was mainly just like red, black, and white, and those were the colors. So that's kind of the difference. It's a small nuance to do with let me actually color this. It's a small difference to do with like fashion style, but they are very much like sharing DNA with each other. The emo kids kind of sprung from Green Day, My Chemical Romance as well, but mostly Green Day. Whereas the Scene Kids were more like along the lines of Invader Zim and, like I said, the gyaru thing. Yeah, it's so funny that I am hip to all of this. So Scene Kids were more colorful than goth. Yes, absolutely. Scene Kids, like if you imagine the early internet where you had the GIFs, which were like really saturated in color, and they had like 1,000 like sparkly things on them. That's kind of where scene kids get a lot of their look from, is like that early internet aesthetic, where the emos kind of got their aesthetic for more like what was called in the 2000s alternative rock, which I think these days we just call like emo rock, but it was called alternative rock back in the day. So that's the difference. Emo literally comes from the word emotional, so like kind of, yeah, that's where it came from, but I'm not sure who coined the term emo, or if that's like a thing that came from 4chan, the same way the word brony came from 4chan. Because what often happens is 4chan would like make up a name to make fun of people, and then that would just become the word. Like not even as an insult, that would just become the word that those people identify as. But yeah, small difference, but a difference nonetheless. Also, I'm not entirely sure whether Scene Kid was really that popular with like, I want to say boys. I don't know if like young dudes, I guess, like they weren't really into the Scene Kid thing, but there were a lot of them in the emo side of things. I remember I was in a commercial as an extra many years ago, like during the time that was popular. And I remember standing in line when we were doing, I can't even remember. We were standing around because we were extras. And there was a guy there who was like part of the emo crowd in the commercial. And I remember him saying to his friend, yeah, I'm wearing my sister's jeans. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good incorporation of the emo look. Is like, how skinny can I get my jeans? Because I don't think skinny jeans were even like really widely available. So the best thing you could do was, if you're a guy, is like wear your sister's jeans. Get those jeans painted on. Funny thing about Hazbin Hotel, my brother's wife almost put that show on for his 2 little girls. Yeah, that's like a constant problem. I saw it, somebody reposted a TikTok of them struggling with a family member who was trying to find an anime to show his kids, and he just, like, this person refused to vet what the anime was before putting it on for his kids. And so the TikTok was basically this person arguing with themselves as a representation of their cousin or whatever, saying like, what anime did you put on for them? And he's like, oh, it's fine, it's just a bunch of kids, you know, running around. And he's like, yes, what is the anime called? It's like, I can't remember, but it's fine. It's like just a bunch of kids and they're in school and it's fine. And this guy's like, give me the name of the anime. And this guy eventually goes, oh, you know what? It was Peter Pan. He goes, really? Peter Pan? He goes, yeah, Neverland something, you know. And it's like, oh no. I don't know what it is with these people. I don't know what it's like. Just vet the anime before you show your kids. Just vet it. You don't even have to sit and watch it. Just like look it up on the internet. Google it. It'll tell you whether it's okay to show your kids. I don't get it. I don't get why it's so hard just to sit down and like quickly Google what anime am I showing my kids. But then again, we're also dealing with the sub-genre. I don't know what. Like anime isn't like a genre. But you're dealing with people where you would have like hardcore hentai DVDs in Blockbuster or whatever for rent. And the cover would very, very unambiguously be a hentai cover. And it would have a sticker on it that says not for children. And then the people who owned the Blockbuster would still put it in like the children's section because it's animated. Like, I don't get it. Like, how many blaring red lights do you need before you understand that this is not for child consumption? I don't get it. I don't understand. I can only draw the map for you so cleanly. It is up to you to choose the correct path to follow. Even most streaming services provide an age rating for shows. So why the fuck are people still making this mistake? I don't know. I don't get it. It's weird to me because, again, when I was like 12 or 13, right, and I was renting videos from Blockbuster or DVDs or whatever we were renting at that point, I was a child. I wasn't even a teenager yet. And I had the, like, understanding to check the cover of the thing I am renting to make sure that I can watch it. Even if it was an anime, you know, even if it was a cartoon, I would check the box and be like, is this actually something I can watch? I don't understand. Like, if me as a dumb and uninformed child can understand to check the age rating, why can't you? I don't understand what the speed bump is here. Like, where is it that your brain is like going over the speed bump too hard and like missing the exit or whatever the metaphor is? There is literally an age rating on anime. Check the age rating. It's right there. It's like there's so many websites that will display age ratings, that will tell you, is this appropriate for children? Can my child watch this? There are so many websites that can inform you. I don't understand it. DVD boxes are hard. I got a story in this vein too. When I was 11 or 12, I somehow wound up with a copy of Saints Row 3. Eventually my parents saw some of it, decided they didn't want me playing it, and forbid me. Yeah! Like, I don't know, maybe I was just a very particular child, but I remember playing GTA 3 as somebody who was way too young to play GTA 3. And one of the very early missions, I think it's GTA 3, it might be San Andreas, I can't remember. One of the games, the first thing you have to do in the game is like beat somebody up with a baseball bat, right? Because it's GTA. And I remember doing that as a child, playing this game, which I was much too young for. And because you're a child, you like get all like worked up and excited. So I'm like beating this guy up and I won the mission. And then I kind of sat there and like, I don't like how I feel beating up this video game character with a baseball bat. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't think I'm going to play this anymore. And then I stopped playing it, you know? Again, it's just wild to me. Like, again, as a stupid little child, I could like understand these things and make these choices. I don't understand how there are parents who can't. It's wild to me. Then when the remaster came out of Saints Row, not long ago, I got to play it again, and seeing the subject matter, thank God my parents did that. Yeah, exactly. Something in my eye. My parents let me and my brother watch some pretty intense stuff when I was 8, and so my brothers were even young, but they eventually accidentally showed us adult content. They always warned us and stuff before putting on Alien or whatever. Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. Because that's the other thing, like, every child has a different threshold, right? Like, sorry, there's something in my eye and it's bothering me. Like, when I was a child, there were certain things I could deal with and certain things I could not. So, in general, I kind of just stayed away from the 16 and up rating, just because I knew that sometimes these movies have things in them that I don't like seeing. But then you have people like Jay from Red Letter Media. And he was like obsessed with special effects since he was a child. He had like magazines on how certain effects were done. And in one of the Red Letter Media videos, he's got some home video footage of himself as like a 12-year-old demonstrating how to get the look of like cutting your arm with a razor. He's like proudly showing off in the home movie like how to do that special effect. And I'm like, well, some people are just built different, I suppose. Hold on, I need to get like something for my eye. Do I have? Yes, I do. Let me just grab this if I can reach it. And just I don't know what's gotten in my eye. It might be sunscreen or something, because it is very hot here today. Very, very, very hot. We had a thunderstorm earlier as well, and now my nose is running. Great. So I apologize if I sniff in your ear. I will try not to. Which Red Letter Media member? Jay. Hold on, let me just mute so I can just sniff. Okay, there we go. It should be good now. But yeah, some kids can handle things and some kids can't. And that's difficult because how do you know what your child can handle until you expose them to it, right? ASMR time. No, not with me sniffing in your ear. Meanwhile, we go winter early. Usually we don't get much snow until January. Yeah, it's been pretty hot here relatively quickly. Like I said, we had thunder today, so it's been really sweltering. And it's getting to the point now where my fan in my room, I need to clean it before I can turn it on. And it's getting to the point now where I need to start doing that because I really need it. Any videos you're currently making? Not right now, because like I said, I'm busy with production. I've got the Velma part 2 up. Not up, but like that's the one on the schedule. And I'm going to do the Velma Halloween special as well. And depending how much I have to say about it, that'll either be at the end of part 2, or I will make like a special part just talking about the Halloween special, which I might possibly give it its own part, just because I'm very long-winded, so I tend to have a lot to say about things. And I imagine I'm probably going to speak about Velma Season 2 for at least an hour. And then I'll probably have like at least 40 minutes or whatever about the Halloween special. And I can give like my final thoughts and whatever in that. So it's probably better to split it up into 2, just because that way I can get the video out faster. That's like the only reason I split them up, is because then I can edit faster, I can upload faster, etc, etc. That's the thing too, kids have different thresholds and might not be set off by certain things. Like my parents were fine with Halo, for example, but just do some research, use the internet. Yes, like my cousin's children back in the day, she had a big problem once because her children were extremely sensitive. I say were because they've grown up now, but they were extremely sensitive. And she had a problem where if she took them to go see a cartoon in theaters, there was a trailer for Paranorman in front of the kids' movie. And her children were so terrified just of the trailer of Paranorman. Right? Like, that's you can't understand what every child's threshold is. Like, I was watching Watership Down when I was like 5 years old. And Jay was doing whatever the hell Jay was doing. I think he said he watched The Exorcist when he was like 13 or something, which makes a lot of sense. I know Brad Jones, the cinema snob, he said he saw Caligula when he was 14 for the first time, which I don't know how that happened, but okay. I remember watching Transformers live action movie when I was around 7, and that is technically PG-13. Yeah, but I think that's like one of those movies where even though it says PG-13, it's kind of aiming for a younger audience, because the movie is not the person who chooses the age rating, right? It's the MPAA, I think it's called, who chooses the age rating for Americans. So the movie was probably made with a younger audience in mind, and just because they got like a PG-13, that doesn't mean that's who the target audience was necessarily. Temple of Doom is another one like that. It's a fantastic movie, but I was too young for it at first. As an adult, I love it. Yeah, I remember, I have a very vivid memory of being like 4 or something, and Temple of Doom was on TV, but I wasn't actively watching it. But the scene where the priest gets torn apart by crocodiles, like that visual just stuck with me as a small child for a very long time. And I think that's just one of those things where a child me was like, okay, I'm not watching that movie. But the thing is as well, right, as a small child of like 4 or 5, I also couldn't speak English fluently, which adds kind of an extra layer of terror to everything, because so much of what you see in a movie you don't understand because you can't speak the language. So if something slightly scary or unnerving happens, it's like double so in effect, because the movie can't explain to you what's going on because you can't speak the language. So you just kind of have to interpret it to the best of your own abilities. And as a result, a lot of movies were really, really scary to me when they are not really that scary as movies, because I had trouble understanding what was happening because I didn't speak the language. Like the live action Ninja Turtles movie, the first one, was kind of like that for me, where I found that movie very scary, and it's because I couldn't speak the language. And so the dark, like moody cinematography and stuff, and the way the lighting looks in that movie, it just made the movie scary to me, even though it's not actually a scary movie. And it's because I couldn't really understand what the tone was because I didn't understand any of the jokes. Fun fact, lots of G-rated comedies for kids feature like lower pets getting hurt, like fish and gerbils. I hated them so much. Yeah, I think that's probably no longer as big a thing. I think like a lot of movie studios will probably just kind of lean away from being that flippant about that sort of thing. I forgot his little his thing. Hold on. Because they know it's something that audiences are now a lot more sensitive to. This bow tie is not in the right place, but I'm just gonna have to deal with it. But yeah, that was one of those things where, like, I remember renting Dumb and Dumber when I was 11 or so. Like, I was the target audience in terms of age for Dumb and Dumber. But it got to the point where they're like, I think they sell a bird that was dead to a blind child. And that upset me so much that my mother took the video back to the Blockbuster and like yelled at the person working there as to why they let me rent it, because it made me so upset. Which is funny in retrospect. It wasn't really that funny when I was the child experiencing this. Oh, he actually has a sleeve as well, I'm just noticing. There we go. And that one's covered, so it's not that big a deal. This bow tie is actually really bothering me. I'm gonna have to fix this, hold on. I am going to use this one. Oh, that's too big. That's gonna chug the computer. And then I'm going to move it a little bit this way. Do that. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now I can just change the line art to match. I don't remember any of that from happening except for maybe live action Cat in the Hat. Okay, but live action Cat in the Hat is terrifying. that is a terrifying movie. As an adult, that movie is horrifying. I generally don't like mean-spirited humans towards animals. Yeah, I don't know if it was just like a 90s thing, because the 90s were like all rebellious, right? So they would do things that would make people laugh because you're not supposed to do that in a movie. Like, that was kind of what the brand of comedy was, is you're not supposed to do that in a movie, and then that's why it's funny. And I think that's where a lot of that came from. And you still kind of have that to a certain degree. Like, I feel a lot of referential humor in movies and cartoons and not so much anime, but things like that comes from the fact that people find it funny because a movie is not supposed to reference other movies. A movie isn't really supposed to do that, and that's why it's funny. And I'm just very confused by that, because I'm like, I thought that's what the brand of humor was, but every single movie and like piece of media is doing that these days. Like, everything is referencing everything else. So I don't understand why we're supposed to find this funny, because it's not even really, oh, you're not supposed to do that as a show, because every show is doing that now. You know? But I always rant about like referential humor, because it's like one of my least favorite things. In context, if it's something that's supposed to have referential humor, I'm not going to complain about it, obviously. But if I'm like watching a cartoon or whatever, and it just randomly decides to copy something verbatim from Sailor Moon or whatever, I find it annoying, because it breaks immersion. I'm trying to decide whether I want to go on a big rant about referential humor in my video on like the Steven Universe video I want to perhaps do at some point. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to like really devote a section of that video just explaining my perspective on it, because I feel like some of it is a me problem, because not everybody is going to have their immersion broken by referential humor. They're just going to be like, oh, that's funny, it's a reference to so-and-so, and kind of move on with their lives. Whereas me, it really bothers me, because then I'm like spending the next 5 minutes thinking about the thing they're referencing, and the fact that the person who made the show is a fan of the thing they're referencing, and how they're referencing the thing because they know that the audience will recognize the thing. Like, I start thinking along those lines, and meanwhile the show is just kind of moved on already, and I'm like, you're really like, you're really screwing up the entire tone you're going for here. I see people in the chat being like, do it. You can't say that on TV. Yeah, exactly. It may be a mainly you problem, but it's also a not only you. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I know what you mean. Like, I am not so arrogant as to assume I am the only person in the entire world with this problem. But I do think also it is important to recognize, well, it is partly a me problem, because I do understand that not everybody has that problem where they get distracted by a reference because they just laugh and move on. But then at the same time, I think about the reaction channel that I like, Bad Medicine, although they've been annoying me in their recent videos. They did a reaction to the Lord of the Rings movies, and it's a really good reaction. I really enjoyed it. The problem was, every single time the movie would have a scene that had since then become a meme, like one does not simply walk into Mordor, or they're taking the hobbits to Isengard. Like, every single time something in the movie happened that had become a meme, the one guy in the reaction would just like start laughing his head off and be like, ah, it's the meme, that's hilarious, it's the meme. And it's I don't understand why it's funny. It's a line in a movie which is not comedic that got turned into a meme. You're laughing because you've seen GIFs of it. Why is that humor? Why is that a joke? It's literally pointing at the screen and clapping. You know, it's the Red Letter Media joke of like, I know what that is. Like, it's literally that. I'm literally watching somebody do that unironically. Yeah, we all remember your epic Josie Campbell rant. Yeah. And I was holding back to some degree. And I had to like double check that I'm not just annoyed at Josie Campbell for doing it when she's only done it twice. But then I like looked at all the other things she's made, and literally every single piece of animation she's worked on as a director has a Sailor Moon reference in it. And I'm like, dude, you need to stop. That reminds me of the thing I like, which makes me happy. Yeah. Also, I think part of it as well, and I don't know whether this is an age thing, but, you know, I grew up as a child in the 90s. I wasn't a teenager in the 90s, but I was a child in the 90s. And of that era, children were extremely quick to recognize when somebody was being insincere towards us in order to sell us something. So we became like really, really fine-tuned to recognizing hello fellow kids kind of thing. And it was most evident in cartoons when they would reference something, but it is painfully obvious that the person making the reference doesn't actually understand what it is they're referencing. And it's just kind of painful to watch. So it's difficult now as an adult to understand that, no, the people referencing these things are actually real fans of these things. They're not just doing it because they're trying to hello fellow kids you. But it is difficult to be like, this is a professional made product. I'm not supposed to have the creator like wink at me and be like, I am also a fan of anime. Like, I don't like that. I don't care. Why are you trying to like ingratiate yourself to me by letting me know that you too watched Cowboy Bebop as a teenager? It's, okay, nice. I'm trying to watch the show you're currently making. We can talk about Cowboy Bebop if you want, but can I finish watching the show you made first before you start telling me about it? Again, I'm like really finely tuned about that sort of thing just because I grew up that way, where you're just like, no, I don't want to get something sold to me. You can't like fast track your way into getting my money or whatever it is you're after just because, oh, I need to turn this on, just because you're making me go, oh yes, I too know of thing, right? Actually, no, I'm not going to do it. Oops, I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to do it with turnip pen. And then I'm going to use the smart eraser instead, because if I use the smart pen, it's going to leave a lot of like white underneath the line work, and I don't want that. Wait, has hello fellow kids become a verb also? I mean, no, it might as well. I'm like tripping over my words, which is a sign I need to drink something. Where is my water? It's all the way over there. Okay, I'm just going to drink my Pepsi then, since I can't reach my water. It might as well be, because it's just such a good, like, encapsulation of that kind of behavior. Like, when you say that, people understand what you mean. And I know I'm using a meme to, like, reference why I don't like the use of memes and things, but you understand. I'm sure you get what my intention is with that. It feels like it's ingratiating me by assuring me that they too understand the animes and the cool, you know, the Sailor Moons and the Cowboy Bebops, you know, and it's like, dude, I'm trying to watch your show. I'm not trying to like be your friend. You don't need to like reassure me that you have all the same taste as me. I'm trying to like enjoy the thing you made. Pepsi. It's one thing if it's a background reference or something that's inspired a scene, but it's another thing if it's in your face. Yeah, it also depends, right? Because I'm not going to sit here and complain that Animaniacs made a Close Encounters reference. Like, I'm not going to sit here and complain when Animaniacs references something, because it's Animaniacs. That's the show. And also, I guess it depends, right? Because again, I've been watching Lupin the Third, and it was made in 1978. And of the episodes I've been watching, I watched an episode that had a very blatant, not even blatant, it was like the focus of the episode. It had an episode focusing around Superman because the 1978 Superman movie had just come out. And I don't like that Lupin episode because it's a bad episode. It's just not good. But they also have an episode where aliens show up because it's a 70s anime and they can do what they want. And the alien spaceship that shows up is literally just the spaceship from Close Encounters. Oh, hold on. Excuse me. The spaceship that shows up is literally the spaceship from Close Encounters. But I don't know whether it's really a reference so much as the animators just saw Close Encounters and they wanted an alien in their anime. So they put it in alien and it just looks that way, right? It's a reference. But because the anime itself is so old, it becomes historical context more than it becomes a reference, which is a bit hypocritical of me, but that is kind of what it becomes when it's a much older piece of media. I still don't like it though, especially if I'm like really invested in what the episode is. But if it's just like a really stupid episode where they're like, oh, we're gonna make a bunch of references to Superman because the movie just came out, it's like, fine. This isn't going to be a good episode, but whatever. I'll just deal with it, I suppose. For me, a big thing is whether or not a movie calls attention to its reference. Like in Sonic 3, that Akira drift that Shadow does was awesome. But if Sonic had said, wow, nice Tokyo drift, or something like that, it would have totally killed the moment. Yeah, I'm a little bit more finely tuned because if I see something, I automatically know, oh, you're doing this because you like it. And you want to use it because you like it, and you're not clever enough to interpret it in a way where you'll make doing something new with it, so you're just literally doing the thing, right? You're just doing the thing. I was watching Little Platoon's review of Shelby Oaks, which is the horror movie Chris Stuckman just made. Apparently it's not very good. And in it, Little Platoon criticizes Shelby Oaks by saying it is inspired by movies like Blair Witch Project and Rosemary's Baby, but not in a way where it took what it liked from those movies and implemented it because it understood the writing. Instead, it is written in a way where the references only really illustrate pattern recognition, right? It's not applying what it likes from those movies with thought. It's just recognizing patterns and then applying it to its own movie. And Little Platoon said it a lot more eloquently than I am butchering it. But that's kind of what it falls into, right? It's you're not really understanding what the thing you like is. You're just kind of regurgitating it. And I feel that way about the Kira bike slide a lot. It's kind of a lost battle because literally everything under the sun has done a reference to the Akira bike slide. But it is kind of that, where it's just like, oh, you're doing the thing. I recognize the thing. Whereas something like the Godzilla chase in the fishing boat in Godzilla -1, which is inspired by the boat chase in Jaws. And it's not because it's trying to be a one-for-one with Jaws, it's just like it understood what that scene in Jaws is and did a scene in Godzilla -1 without doing any of the same camera angles or any similarities of that kind, and just kind of understood what the function of that scene is, and they wanted to create a scene with a similar feel to it in their movie where Godzilla chases a fishing boat. Also, I'm buffering here, so I'm not sure if you guys are buffering. I'll give it a second. I tried watching his video on Godzilla vs. Kong because I heard he made a really weird comment, but I got bored after a few minutes because he's not interesting to listen to. Is this Little Platoon or Chris Stuckman? Oh, hiccup. Sorry, I drank some Pepsi, which is soda, which is not the best idea when I'm talking a lot. I guess it's kind of like having slow-mo shots or almost all rip-offs of scenes from The Matrix, just using it to use it, not knowing what made it work. I mean, I suppose, but I mean, slow-mo shots have been a thing way before The Matrix. It's just that The Matrix invented bullet time specifically. But I understand what you mean, like, especially if you play like Max Payne, which is literally just, you know, it took the bullet time from The Matrix one-for-one and put it in their game. And it's just like, okay, you're doing The Matrix. But I suppose that's a little different because at least you're implementing it in a gameplay style rather than just doing it wholesale. You mean Platoon? I mean, I can get that. I really like Little Platoon, but I have a soft spot for like the British dry sense of humor, so I quite like it. I quite like his videos. Again, let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm just waiting because my screen is buffering over here. I can see the chat move, I just can't see the little YouTube window if it's playing or not. I feel like some creators do reference because creators they themselves do references the same way, some sort of behavioral learning. I mean, that's possible. It's entirely possible. I think also it gets normalized to a way where it's like, oh, it's fine because, you know, Steven Universe did it and My Adventures with Superman did it and so did it and this did it. And then you get the really boring argument, which I'm really not a fan of, which is, well, everything is inspired by everything else and nothing is really unique. And that just really gets my blood boiling because I'm like, you know, that's not the argument I'm making. You know, that's not the point I'm making when I complain about this. You're just being facetious on purpose and it's annoying. Either that or you genuinely don't understand the difference, and that's a much bigger problem. Coming through fine on your end? Okay, great. I'm going to continue then. This mauve is really hurting my eyes of this, guys. This color is awful. Remind me when I finally watch Has-Been not to watch it in a dark room. I'm going to like burn my retinas out. There's a lot of gray area between reference, homage, inspiration, engagement with another work, and just being part of the zeitgeist. Yeah, exactly. Because like, I'm not saying you have to be an entirely unique piece of work, right? I'm not saying you're not allowed to ever take inspiration from anything else. But again, there are levels to it. And there are ways of, and there's a way of implementing the thing you like, where you illustrate that you understand what it is you like about it, rather than just literally putting the scene or the character in your thing and being like, I made this, right? And again, this is why I don't know whether I will put a section of this in the video when I talk about it. I don't know, it'll probably be the Steven Universe video where I talk about this at length if I include it. Because Steven Universe, I feel, is kind of ground zero for a lot of Western cartoons doing this a lot more. You gatekeeping so hard. Some gates need to be kept, okay? Some gates need guarding. That's why we've got gates. If we didn't need gates, we wouldn't have gates. We would have doorways. That's why the gates exists. But oh, I caught. Thank you, Avina. I saw that just before she spoke. Thank you so much. I wish YouTube would let me read your full name. Maybe, hold on, maybe Steamer. No, who are you? Hold on. Can I click on this and see your full name so I can acknowledge it properly? Ultimate TYBR. Say something in chat so I can read your username properly. Rewatching your review of my adventures with Superman and loving the part where you lose your mind over Jimmy's subscriber number. Thank you so much, and thanks for watching. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I forgot about Jimmy's subscriber number. That makes like no sense. You're just bringing like a wave of memories back from that stupid show and like a lot of the baffling decisions in it. It's wild to me how that show can have like subscriber numbers and clearly not understand them at all, but then at the same time like fully understand the internet enough to have references to like come to Brazil in the chat. Like that to me is still like I know it's a dumb joke, but them just including a random come to Brazil in Jimmy's chat is genuinely one of the funniest jokes I've seen in a while. There we go. Ultimate tiebreaker. Thank you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry YouTube like shortened your @ so I couldn't read it properly. YouTube really needs to sort out how it displays names in chat. It's a nightmare. Seapuff will become the gate guardian. But the thing is, right, I never used to be into gatekeeping at all. Like most sane people, I was like, no, gatekeeping is bad. You shouldn't gatekeep. And then I heard somebody say Silent Hill 2 is a bad video game because it's... What was the exact... Oh, that's it. I was against gatekeeping until I heard somebody say Silent Hill was a bad video game because it was ableist. And that was the day I was like, you know what? Maybe some people shouldn't play horror games. Maybe we shouldn't allow certain people to play horror games because clearly certain people are not able to like understand the purpose of horror games. Also, I see somebody saying bye to people who left. Sketchy. I'm going to go to a different stream. Take care and have a good day. Thanks for hanging out, Sketchy. Hope you have a good day. Ableist? Yeah. Like to this day, I'm like seething at I'm coping and seething about somebody calling Silent Hill 2 ableist to this day because it's like one of the most stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, do you understand what the game is about? Do you understand what the narrative is? And yeah, that's the day I was like, you know what? No, this is not for you. This game is not for you. You can leave. Thank you. And I made a post about that on Tumblr, and it was so funny because so many people reblogged that post about me talking about we should actually gatekeep people like this from certain franchises. And every single person who reblogged it was like, the shout out to the Fear and Hunger fandom. And I've never played Fear and Hunger because it is not a game I would be able to play. As interesting as I find the game, I just know for a fact that I would not be able to play it. So it was just really funny to me to see like all the Fear and Hunger fans in the comments just like losing their minds because of what apparently they have to deal with in their fandom. And I'm like, my condolences. We're missing the reference to... I'm missing the reference to Come to Brazil. In Jimmy's live chat in My Adventures with Superman, there's a random person in his chat that just says Come to Brazil, which is a massive like meme on the internet, for lack of a better word, because there are so many Brazilians who will like chat that at their favorite streamer, and it's really funny. And I think the streamer that made it popular might have been Joel. You know, Vinesource Joel. I think he might be the one that like made it super popular, because Joel has such a huge Brazilian audience. So there were always people in his chat like saying, "Come to Brazil," and which is why I'm saying it like that. I'm making fun of Joel's accent. A lot of people in his chat would be like, "Come to Brazil." And he did an entire chat where he played Flight Simulator, where he flew a Boeing 747 to Brazil. It was really funny. I think that stream is like, what, like 12 hours long or something? Because he flew the plane from Sweden to Brazil. I have not watched the whole thing, but I hear it was like a legendary stream. I'm seeing somebody explain something to somebody. I sometimes start like talking about whatever nonsense and then I miss things in chat. I'm really sorry. It's a visual novel, 5 chapters out of 7, not played by the same people who did Slay the Princess. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what you guys are saying, but you can ask again. Oh, Scarlet Hollow. I need to play Scarlet Hollow because somebody who I'm mutuals with on Tumblr is a big fan of it, and I'm really intrigued by it as a result. But I'm still like, I need to play more of the Sherlock Holmes point and click that I started playing. I got like really emotional for no reason whatsoever at like the early parts of the game, and then I had to stop playing for a bit. Because I was like so worked up, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna put this down for a while and I'll get back to it. Some people just say shit before thinking, that's the problem. I mean, yeah, it's also true. Never watched him, but saw his reaction to having an image of him in Smiling Friends. I need to watch that reaction. I was actually watching him before the stream. He did a new video where he looked at, I want to say urban legends in GTA San Andreas, but that's not entirely accurate. Somebody made a bunch of mods for San Andreas, and he's like going to walk around the map and like find the mods. I think it's things like, I don't know, maybe Bigfoot or something. But knowing Joel, it could be anything because Joel's streams are completely unhinged. Lots of horror is deeply sympathetic to disability, explores its struggles and fears in a very cool and cathartic ways. Yeah, no, exactly. Sorry, I know this is like part 2 of an earlier thing you say. Look, I do think there is validity that some horror tropes can be deployed in ableist ways. Oh no, absolutely. Usually not inherently so. Lots of horror, deeply sympathetic. Yeah. The thing is, it's specifically because it's about Silent Hill 2. And Silent Hill 2's entire theme is around the horror of watching somebody who you love slowly die from a terminal illness. Like, that is what Silent Hill 2 is about. And it fully explores a lot of the difficult and very bad feelings and emotions that come from being in that kind of situation. And I think this person said it was ableist just because it is a horror game that is trying to discuss the horrific situation of watching someone you love die from a terminal illness, right? That's the point of the game. I don't understand what your issue is here. It's saying that, wow, this is a horrible thing to go through. That's not an ableist statement. That is a deeply sympathetic statement because it's cathartic, because it's a video game that seems to understand what it's like to go through that. And it's communicating it in a way where people who might have experienced that can relate to it and find catharsis that a piece of media is able to accurately represent the emotions and struggles you go through when that sort of situation happens, right? Anyway, you also see it's so good. Also Slay the Princess. I need to play Slay the Princess. I see some awesome animation from the creator who's on Tumblr. I see them every now and again. But I really need to play the Scarlet Hollow game. That one really caught my interest. Maybe it's just because my mutual likes it. And I really, I value their taste kind of thing. Probably the same people that say the ability to play a video game is ableist. Yeah, that's like an entire different discussion. I genuinely don't know how to broach that subject, because on the one hand, I understand. On the other hand, I don't think every video game is for everyone. But on the other hand, it is difficult if you're like a person with a disability, where if you did not have that disability, this game would be for you, and the only thing preventing you from enjoying it is the disability. It's a nuanced topic. I don't think it's as simple as, oh, every game should be able to be played by everybody, but I also don't think it's like, oh, well, if you can't play a game, then the game is not for you. I think it's one of those things where not only is there nuance, but also it's a case-by-case basis. And I think a lot of people dislike when things are case-by-case basis because they want like large general rules for things because it's just easier. By the way, CPUF, do you have a Blue Sky account? I'm asking because I just looked up a profile claiming to be you and I just want to verify. I am on Blue Sky. You can perhaps, I don't know if you can link it in chat. Let me link my Blue Sky. That might be a better move, because then you don't have to worry about YouTube thinking you're sending me spam. And then if it's not me, then whatever other one you found is not me. But let me just copy this. Icon chat. I'm gonna paste it in the YouTube chat here and hopefully it goes through. So that is my Blue Sky account. So if that is not it, then that is not me. That is the only Blue Sky account I have. Wi-Fi is working again. Oh, excellent. Just tell them that a blind guy was able to beat Ocarina of Time solely from sound. Anyone who says video games are ableist have never heard that story. The thing is, right, one of my closest friends has a husband who is legally blind, if that makes sense. He's not actually blind, but he is legally blind. And he often struggles with video games. And like there are several games that he would be able to play and he'll get quite far. And then there will be a section of the video game he has been playing where certain things change in a way where he is unable to play the game anymore because the story event will just have visuals that he's unable to keep up with. Like he had that problem with Nier Automata, however you say it. Like there's a fight in Nier Automata where your characters, because your character's a robot, their visuals start getting messed up and corrupted, and he really struggled with that. So that's a difficult one because you're able to play the game perfectly fine, and then like 90 hours in or whatever, something happens where the visuals get screwed up and suddenly you can't play the game anymore. Like that is endlessly frustrating. I don't know what I'd do if I was in that situation. That sounds like a nightmare. So again, like I said, it's a difficult thing which needs to kind of have a case-by-case basis. I don't think it's as simple as, oh, games should be accessible and if they're not, they're ableist. Or, no, some games are just not for you, right? There's a middle ground there. And just because I can't play certain games because my twitch reflex is not that good, doesn't mean that the game is ableist. It just means that I don't have a good enough twitch reflex for it. So that game is not for me, which is the reason I cannot play most rhythm games, because my reflexes are just not fast enough and I can't keep up with the on-screen visual stimulus. Like I just can't do it. I don't know if that's an ADHD thing or just a me thing where it's just something where I'm unable to do that, but that's a problem with me. Like, I'm not going to try and play like the Hatsune Miku Project Diva game and then complain because I can't play the game, knowing, like going in, that I can't play rhythm games, right? The live stream crashed for some reason. Is it for everybody or is it just you? Please let me know. That one's hard. It's like complicated, but not every activity is for everyone. Yeah, like I said, the rhythm game one is quite an easy one because I think that's something that a lot of people don't struggle with, and it's just something that I really struggle with. I struggled with the rhythm game sections in Night in the Woods. That's how bad I am with rhythm games. I barely was able to get past Undertale just because some of those fights in like the neutral route I just could not do. I had to get like the armor from like the Thames store to be able to beat, I think it was Metaton. Like, I needed, like, the special loser armor just to be able to get past that fight. You're still going as far as I know? Okay, I think it might have just been you, Dark Frost Star. Sorry about that, but at least I know it's... at least I know it's just you, but I mean, like, that's fine. Because then I don't have to do anything on my side. Still good? Okay, great. Some games just aren't meant for some people. Might sound tough, but people have different interests. That's the other thing, right? I am somebody where often I will play a game outside of my comfort zone if the game has a good story. That's, as I've said before, that's the only reason I started playing Mass Effect. Because I never played shooters, but I heard Mass Effect had a good story, so I played it, and I learned how to play shooters because of Mass Effect. And I'm not like great at shooters, but I'm good enough, right? I play on hard difficulty when I play a shooter. But there are other games where I'm just not going to be able to play it. I'm never going to be able to play Dark Souls, for instance. I just don't have, again, the twitch reflexes. I'm not fast enough to dodge things in Dark Souls. Like, the time it takes for my eye to see something versus my hand to react to it, there is a delay, and I know that. I am, like, physically aware of that. So I'm not somebody who's ever going to play Dark Souls or Bloodborne. And I mean, that sucks. I'm sure people who love those games are like, wow, that's awful. You should be able to play that. And I'm like, I don't know. I can't play those games, and if you made them easier, it's going to ruin what the game is. Hey, Brian. Different strokes for different folks? Yeah. I think that some people... and it's just certain people, but I think there are some people who really can't handle when something is very popular and it's not for them. And they really, really get upset about that because they want to be part of the popular thing. They want to be somebody who is also playing the popular thing. And they can't handle it when popular thing is something they can't play. And I'm specifically thinking like Dark Souls, for instance. And again, it's like, you can't really make Dark Souls easier or more accessible because then it stops being Dark Souls. I understand that for other games, but I think the difficulty and the high skill level required to play the game is why the game is popular with the people who enjoy it. So if you implement something like an easy mode or whatever, then it's in a way, it is going to diminish the people who enjoy that game. That reminds me, I saw an amazing comment, a comic, not comment, on Tumblr called The Vocal Minority. Let me see if I can find it quickly, even though Tumblr's search function is beyond broken. That's one thing I don't think they're ever going to fix, is Tumblr's search function. It's been broken for thousands of years and it's just never improved. Oh, good lord. Maybe if I go to archive, I can see it. This is important because it makes a very good point. Okay, let me just go through the 5,000 things I reblogged this week. Where is it? That's... okay. I've been reblogging way too many Lupin the Third fan art. I just see it all over the dash. Okay, I think it was between this and this, wasn't it? If I can't find it, I'm just going to give up because I don't want to waste you people's time. Here it is. Found it. Copy image. Back to live stream. So, like this, exactly. I have made more of the thing you like. Yay, thing. I love thing. I can't wait for the thing. Woohoo! I do not like the thing. You are a bad person if you do not address the fact that I do not like the thing. I have made changes to the thing. That's no longer the thing we wanted. I'm going to look for a different thing. Ah! Will you buy the thing? I never had any real interest in the thing. Like, exactly that. Like, exactly that. The amount of times I've seen this exact scenario happen is unreal. And to some degree, this is what happened with Veilguard as well. Like, right? Anyway, well, oh yeah, I was coloring this section. The question would be, if it was easy enough for you, would you play it? Maybe, yeah. Because I'm trying to think, what is Dark Souls like that I would enjoy? But I think I would, because it's an atmospheric, like, not really horror, but dark fantasy. Well, it's like Berserk, right? It's like directly inspired by Berserk. I really like Berserk, so there's a very good chance I would like Dark Souls. Or Elden Ring. I would probably be really into Elden Ring if I was able to play it. Would it be quicker to go... Oh, through a Google search. No, I managed to find it, no worries. I'd argue for a god mode like Hades for those who just want to enjoy the lore and exploration. I guess so. But then you'll probably have people complaining that, like, no, there needs to be an easy mode, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm not going to try and, like, put myself in the headspace of these people. And I get what you're saying, because as I've said before, we've tried these topics on previous streams. But, like, I'm really bad at Hollow Knight. I can't play Hollow Knight. It's the only game in existence that turns me into a rage gamer. And I've decided I'll probably play it with like a god mode cheat or something. Because I am interested in the world building and the story and the atmosphere. But I'm not interested in driving myself crazy with some of the platforming segments. But with something like Elden Ring, I would want to engage with the game. Because I'm one of those people where if a game is too easy, I will up the difficulty because I actually want a challenge. I don't just want to walk through the game. And at the moment, I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 and I'm playing the Dark Urge run. And I'm not doing honor mode because that's a little bit too stressful for me to only have one save file to work with. But I still wanted the game to be a little bit harder than just Tactician. I wanted a difficulty between Tactician and honor mode. So what I did was I downloaded a mod which implements injuries and exhaustion. So if your character gets hit with a critical hit, there's a certain percentage that they might get inflicted with an injury, and the injury will debuff them depending on what the injury is. And likewise, there is a good chance that based on the event of a fight, that a character will get stricken with exhaustion, and there are 5 levels of exhaustion. And depending on how exhausted a character is, depends on whether they fall asleep or pass out or become unconscious due to exhaustion. And I downloaded that mod specifically because it makes the game harder. Because Tactician was too easy for me because I played the game so many times. I understood like how to maneuver certain fights. I knew how to like get through certain fights very, very well. And it wasn't fun for me to just be able to like power through fights. I'm like, I need something a little bit more challenging than this. So that's what I did. I installed a difficulty mod essentially. I respect Dark Souls, but I can't imagine ever enjoying it either, unfortunately. Yeah, like I said, Elden Ring would probably be something I enjoy more, but I don't think I would be able to play Elden Ring at all. I just don't have the ability to interact with the bosses the way that I've seen people do. Like when people do rolls, people will roll out of the way of oncoming attacks, and I would not even have noticed that an attack was happening. And I don't understand how the streamer was able to like anticipate that the boss was about to hit them. I'm like, I don't know how you were able to see that, because by the time I noticed, you had already dodged out of the way. Difficulty is emergent between player and game, but that also requires knowledge, which is its own barrier to access. I mean, true, and like I said, that's why I got the injury mod for Baldur's Gate, because when I played it the first time, I played it on just adventure difficulty, and then I played it on Tactician, and now I'm playing it on Tactician with a difficulty mod, because I understand the game more. I have a much better understanding of what certain attacks do, what certain attacks have synergy between other characters, what builds work best for which characters, how to get the most out of spell slots. Like, I have all that knowledge now. And if you have all that knowledge, you can really steamroll some of the fights in that game. And I don't like that. I actually want to have a bit of difficulty. And that is why when I tried to fight Ketheric last weekend, it took me 4 hours to be able to kill him. Because he's a difficult boss, and also I had a difficulty mod. And also because that section of the game requires you to have certain characters with you. So my party build was all kind of screwed up because I had to have Gale, I had to have Will, and I don't leave Astarion at camp because I use him for every single fight because he does some of the most damage, and also just for like story purposes. So I have to deal with my character, who's a sorcerer, Gale, who's a spell sword, so he can't take a lot of hits, Will, who is a warlock, so he doesn't have a lot of spell slots. He's only got a few attacks he can do, and then he has to rely on his sword. And Astarion, who has like the most hit points, and he's the rogue. And if he can't get a sneak attack off, he can't do a lot of damage, and it's really difficult. A lot of Elden Ring is more memorization than reaction. I actually dislike the later games in the series more because of how enemies flail and how it has become more snap memory. Yeah, see, but that's like so far above my understanding of the game as a whole. I just see like clips of people fighting in that game, and I literally can't keep up with what's going on just because their reactions to what's happening is so muscle memory and understanding of what's going on. And I don't know if I have the patience, really. I don't know, maybe I do. Like I said, it took me 4 hours to beat Ketheric. So I might have the patience, I don't know. I'm trying to get caught up on Zelda. The last one I played when it was new was Minish Cap. I've only ever played Twilight Princess, but I remember really liking Twilight Princess. Well, I played Oracle of Seasons when I was a child on the Game Boy, but I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I genuinely did not find it fun. But Twilight Princess I liked a lot. So, make of that what you will. I will say, though, I enjoyed Okami more than I enjoyed Twilight Princess. Because, like, Twilight Princess I've only played once, and I got until, the last boss. And I wanted to do everything else before the final boss, and then I stopped playing and didn't get back to it. But Okami, I think I've played through twice and 100%ed it. So again, I think that says something, right? You ever play Mass Effect on Insanity or any other harder difficulty? I haven't done Insanity yet, but I've done the difficulty just before Insanity. I might do an Insanity run next time I play it. I think I might be able to do that because I remember getting to parts, especially in Mass Effect 2, where fights are just really, really easy. The problem is there are certain fights in Mass Effect which are very unbalanced when you put them against other fights in Mass Effect. So you'll have fights that you really breeze through, and there'll be one that's really, really difficult for no real reason. It's not even that it's a boss, it's just for some reason the setup of the fight arena and the kind of skills that the character has just makes it a nightmare, and it's just really difficult. Twilight Princess is amazing, probably my favorite Zelda. Also, only one of the two I beat to completion. Yeah, I really liked Twilight Princess. I should probably finish that at some point. I'd have to dig out my Wii, and Twilight Princess, I can probably play it on an emulator, because I think the Wii emulators are good enough at this point. And Twilight Princess, it's not like the motion controls are really a requirement for that game, right? You swing the sword when you wiggle the remote. I think that's about the extent of the motion controls in that game. I could play the GameCube version, but I suppose you'd want the next platform up, because it tends to have better graphics and stuff, right? Okami reference CPUF livestream confirmed. Okami is really good, okay? Okami is a really good game, and I like it a lot. But it's weird because I really like Isun in Okami, and I think he's one of those characters where most people really hate him, whereas I quite like Isun. But again, I like Lupin the Third, so that shouldn't be that big a surprise that I like Isun. First encounter with the collector ship on the platform is nuts. Yeah, that one is really difficult. And I'm trying to think, there's another one, and it's not even a big set piece. I think it's just a random mission in the second game where you go to a dig site or something, and for some reason the AI on your companions just freaks out in that section, and it becomes a nightmare because you get swarmed by husks and your teammates just don't do anything about it, and it's really frustrating. And also, you know, you've got the inherent, what's the word? Handicap. You've got the inherent handicap where I romance Garrus in Mass Effect, so he comes along with every mission. So if I have a mission that requires me to have Thane with me, well, now I've got 2 snipers on my team. And I play Infiltrator. I don't play like the beefy tank class. So now I've got a bunch of glass cannons with me. And it just makes it really hard. Mass Effect 1 and 3 are perfectly balanced with insanity. I have big issues with Mass Effect 1's AI. I find the fights in Mass Effect 1 really, really annoying because the enemy AI is really not that good. So I'll have to check whether I can handle insanity. But Mass Effect 3 I should be fine with. Except for like the final battle on Earth in London. I remember really struggling with that one on the harder difficulty. So it might be a nightmare on insanity, but I'll have to see when I eventually do it. I should play Okami again. I have the Wii version and I was struggling with the most basic ability because my hand bounced slightly whenever I hit the button to start drawing and it made it fail. Oh yeah, see, that's really annoying. But Okami has like a remaster on PS3, doesn't it? I know it has a remaster on PS3. I think it has one on PS4 as well that doesn't require motion controls. So it might be worth that. And are they doing a remaster of Okami or are they doing like a sequel? I think they're doing a sequel, but I'm not sure if they're doing a remaster. They might do like a Alice, American McGee's Alice, where they release the sequel and then they have like the original game as like an extra mode for some reason. What you miss? Not much. We're talking about video games. It will depend on which class you pick, to be honest. Infiltrator and Soldier throughout the series is probably the most straightforward. Yeah, I like Infiltrator because it just kind of meshes well with how I enjoy playing. And I did find, though, in Mass Effect 2, if you have Mordin on your team, which I had a lot because I like Mordin, the game becomes really easy because both you and Mordin have Incinerate as an ability and you just burn through everything. That I remember the first time I got to that point in the game, even playing it the very first time, I had to up the difficulty because I was just like literally setting everything on fire, and it made the game really easy if you can have 2 characters who can both do that. I never beat it as a kid, but when I was 16 I went back and beat it after almost a decade since I first got it. Twilight Princess or Okami? I'm guessing Okami. That's another interesting topic I should probably watch a video on, is do old Zelda fans, it sounds like a stupid question, but do older Zelda fans actually like Breath of the Wild as much as everyone else does? That's something I'm quite curious about. Because I know obviously it's Breath of the Wild, lots of people love Breath of the Wild, but it's such a shake-up to the overall way that Zelda games had been made up until then. I do wonder if there isn't like a small group of Zelda fans who really were just not fans of the way that Breath of the Wild plays. That'd be an interesting topic to look up. I'm waiting for Skitty Bitty's video on Breath of the Wild though. I'm like really excited for that video. I know they've been working on it for like, what, 2 years now? Something like that. But it's going to be very good. Because the best kind of video on YouTube is when somebody who's like really, really super autistic about a certain subject makes like a long form multi-hour video about that subject. That's like the best kind of content, man. The content is so good. And again, Mauler is dropping his 17-hour video on Star Wars Outlaws tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to that. Speaking of autism. See, also Jenny Nicholson. Exactly. Her video on the Star Wars Hotel is so good. I like a lot of her videos, but that one in particular is such a good video. Like, I really enjoy her video on True Blood as well, but like the Star Wars Hotel is just on another level. And I think it's because she's so obsessed with Star Wars, specifically modern Star Wars. She's very strange in that she likes the new ones until, you know, the bad times happened with the final one. But she's an interesting breed of fan, just because I think that's a rather unique perspective as somebody who actually did like the sequels at first And then they just got worse and worse until even the fans of the sequels ended up disliking them. I mean, that's an accomplishment. Okay, so his inner sleeve is also the cyan color. Though my Wendigo is a bit weird as it uses fire instead of frost. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I missed it. Oh, you're speaking to somebody else. Sorry. I wasn't really a fan of Breath of the Wild, but I seem to be in the minority on that. I feel like Tears of the Kingdom made a bigger split in the Zelda fandom than its predecessor. Yeah, again, Skitty Bitty's video on Tears of the Kingdom is phenomenal. Imagine being somebody who doesn't make YouTube videos and then you drop like a multi-hour video about how much you hate Tears of the Kingdom, and it's like one of the best Zelda videos that ever released on YouTube. Imagine having that kind of power where you just come out of literally nowhere and the pure fuel of your hate propels your video into being like one of the most widely best regarded Zelda videos on the platform. That's insane. I think it's like a 2 million views or whatever. She made like a few Minecraft videos like 8 years ago, and then she makes this like multi-hour Tears of the Kingdom video and it gets like 2 million views. That's crazy. It's a good video though. Like Skitty Bitties, like their comedic timing is ridiculously well done. They have comedic timing that I could only dream to achieve, both in their edits as well as the way that they write. They're just really, really good at like nailing when to do jokes, how to write them, like audio cues. They're really, really good. For somebody who just never made a video before then and then dropped that, they're really, really good. It's really intimidating in a way. Just Skyrim build? Ah, okay, I understand. Haven't watched Star Trek Skeleton Crew, but I keep being told it's alright. I also heard it was okay. But, I mean, I have so much Star Trek to watch that I haven't gotten to yet. I mean, I have to continue watching The Next Generation. I have to watch Deep Space Nine. I have to watch... Deep Space Nine is the one that everybody likes. What's the other one? There's like one between those two. And I can't remember what it's called. Not Frontier, the other one. I forget. You know which one I mean. I know which one I mean. I just can't remember the title. I know which one I mean. I know what it is. I just don't know the name. Civit made a 5-hour video on how much he hated Persona 5, and Manga Carmen responded by making a 4.5-hour video going into detail as to why he was full of it. That might be interesting to me specifically because I also did not like Persona 5 as far as I played it, but most of my problems with Persona 5 comes from the fact that I love Persona 4. I really like Persona 4 a lot. I am a huge fan of Persona 4. And so I did not like Persona 5 because I don't want to say it's too different, but a lot of the things that I liked about Persona 4 are not in Persona 5. And it resulted in me not liking 5 as much. I mean, it's not that deep, right? It's not that deep. It's just like, yeah, I liked the one they made before this one, and I liked it more, and I was disappointed when I played 5, and it wasn't like, it didn't have the things I liked about 4 in it, like, at all. It didn't have characters that spoke to me the way that they did in 4. It didn't have the setting of 4, which is, you know, instead of being in the small rural town, you're in Shibuya. It didn't have, like, it didn't have the Jungian psychology angle as much. It kind of does, but not in the same way that 4 did. 4 handled the psychology in a much different way, and I just find the psychology, the way it's implemented in Persona 5, a lot less interesting compared to 4. Whereas 4, the bosses were all centered around characters who are your friends, and the bosses in 4 reflect the psychological shortcomings that the friends felt that they had, like things that they disliked about themselves were the bosses. Whereas in Persona 5, the bosses are just like the psychological, like, manifestations of people who are just bad people. And again, that's just kind of less interesting to me. Also, it doesn't help that I really don't like Morgana. I don't like Morgana and I don't like Anne, which makes it very difficult because at the beginning of the game, those are the characters you get introduced to first. Is like you got you, your boy, and then you get Morgana, and then you get Anne. And that's who you're kind of stuck with for a very long section of the game. And it just wasn't very enjoyable to me. Versus like Persona 4, where you've got Yosuke, and Yosuke, I think it's Yosuke. Yosuke is your friend, like your best friend. And Yosuke is just really likable. And you've got Chie, and Chie is kind of a weirdo, but she's also really likable. And it makes the game a lot more pleasant, which, again, Persona 5, I just did not have that connection with the characters. And I found Morgana annoying, whereas I don't find Teddy annoying. So, again, counterpoint, Persona 5 has Futaba. I never got far enough for Futaba because I had to deal with Morgana and Anne. So I missed out on like really cool characters because they front-loaded it with characters I didn't like. I'll probably get back to it eventually, but yeah, I will say like I did not like Persona 5, but it wasn't really because I think it's a bad game. It's mainly because I like Persona 4 too much, and that's a me problem. It's not really a game problem. So yeah, I would be interesting to see the takedown of somebody who actually likes it, responding to somebody being like, oh, this game is terrible, and somebody who just knows what they're talking about being like, no, it's not, it's really good. That would be very interesting to me. Because again, I like watching people talk about things that I don't know much about, but they have like encyclopedic knowledge about. That's really enjoyable to me. Hey, blue guy. I need to play Persona, preferably one of the 5s, maybe after Digimon Time Stranger. I think I haven't played Digimon Time Stranger, but from what I've seen, if you like Digimon Time Stranger specifically, there's a good chance you will probably vibe pretty well with Persona 5 specifically, because I don't think it's a controversial thing to say that Digimon Time Stranger took some inspiration from Persona 5. I don't think that's like a shocking thing to say. I think that's pretty obvious, which is fine. It's like taking inspiration in a way where games should take inspiration from each other. What is the topic of this conversation, by the way? We were talking about YouTubers, and somebody said that somebody disliked Persona 5, and then somebody else made a response video to them, just breaking down how wrong their video was. And I just mentioned, well, that would be interesting to me because I also didn't really like Persona 5, but my reasons for disliking Persona 5 are like a me problem, not because I think the game is bad. And the problem is mainly because I like Persona 4 too much. Also, I feel I should play Persona 3. I don't know whether I would like Persona 3. It's a lot moodier than Persona 4, which is fine. It's just, I think it's much more in tune to what the Persona games were before Persona 4, where they were much more leaning towards the Shin Megami Tensei like vibe. I know it is a Shin Megami Tensei game, but a Shin Megami Tensei game that is even more Shin Megami Tensei, where it's much more into like that Digital Devil Saga kind of style. I like Persona 3, but I can acknowledge the differences might make it less appealing, but I really do like what they did with the tarot specifically. They really missed by not letting the full tarot stay with Yaldi though. See, I'm not entirely sure because I didn't get that far in the game, but I get what you mean. I don't think the tarot in Persona 4 was particularly strong, but the symbolism for each tarot was at least accurate. Like what the cards represent was accurate to the character. So I remember like when I played that on the PS2 back in the day, I was quite impressed with that. I was like, oh, they actually managed to get the cards correct. They actually bothered to do their research and have the cards mean what they mean. And isn't just like some bullshit interpretation where, oh no, the death card means death, you know, and that kind of nonsense. Persona games were good before they made it bad, in my opinion. If you wanted to see a response to a Persona 5 review, then could try Manga Kamen's response to Sivit's review. Yeah, that's what we're referring to. I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to pull it up in a tab so I can remember. Because again, that's exactly the kind of thing I'm into. Long form video content about subjects people are really passionate about that I may not have much passion about. I think I shouted it out a while ago. There's an amazing video that somebody made about a video game about dinosaurs. And it was just really, really funny because this guy was like so angry about it. I can't remember what the game is called, but it was amazing. Okay, let me see. Manga Carmen. I'm seeing a lot of videos. Let me just see if I can find the Persona one. I mean, I can probably search for it. What am I talking about? I can just do it here. Persona. Persona's greatest villain. Oh, here we go. Everything wrong with Persona 5 style over substance. Is that the video you guys were meaning? Is that the one? That reminds me, I saw that somebody made a video that was titled something like Why Godzilla Cannot Work in the West. And then somebody made a response video and the thumbnail says something along the lines of research is an amazing thing. And I don't know what kind of drama is going on there, but I really need to know because I like Godzilla and I like research. So I want to know whether somebody made like a really terrible video where they didn't do their research. Like somebody else is like calling them out for it. Because that sounds amazing. That sounds like the kind of thing I want to watch. Adachi saying a social link was so cool. I constantly see shows and movies that feature tarot and they always have the scene where the fortune teller freaks out about the death card. What does it actually mean? Death means transition. It means change. It means there is a change about to occur in your life that is going to put you in a like position of transition from one area, like one phase of your life to another phase of your life. That's literally all it means. It can mean something like maybe you're going to move. Maybe you're going to get fired from your job and you're going to get a new job. Maybe your relationship is going to end. You know, it's that kind of thing. It could mean anything like that. It's kind of a neutral card. It doesn't mean death. That's not what it means. I love watching Soviet Womble's 3-hour-long video about the game The Forest. Oh, I need to watch that. I know of The Forest. I haven't played it. I don't think it's something I will play. But again, I will absolutely watch somebody ramble on about their favorite topic. I watched like an hour video. I think, yeah, sorry, I just thought of like 3 topics at the same time. I watched an hour video of this guy who made a biography about a boxer. I don't care about boxing. I watched that entire video because it was so interesting. And I watched a video about the longest game of baseball ever played, and it was like 33 innings. It started at like 8 at night or something along those lines, and it ended at like 4 in the morning. And like the outfielder eventually like lay down with his head on the, not the outfielder, the third baseman lay down with his head on the plate and just went to sleep because he was so exhausted. What a nightmare. I like that joke in Simpsons where Lisa is getting her future told and the teller freaks out when she gets the Happy Bunny card. Okay, now I want to see. Okay, so oh, you know what I can do? I see what they've done here. I'm actually going to do something similar. I'm going to grab this color and then I'm just going to color the top of the screen. Oops. A little lighter so you can see the dimension, because I see that's what they've done here. There we go. And I will probably... Oh, I wanted to draw the lightning around his hand. That's the other thing I wanted to do. But yeah, the Birdman makes a lot of videos about calling out people who make bad takes based on poor research and misinfo. Yeah, like... Again, I don't like dunking on other YouTubers. I find it very tacky. But I did recently just make a post about Saber Spark, where my problem with a lot of his videos is the fact that they are often really, really filled with misinformation. And because he's so popular, a lot of people will parrot what he says about certain shows and animation when he's just incorrect. And I just have a big problem with that. I have a big problem with just him spreading misinformation because he doesn't do research. He'll just say things sometimes without doing any research whatsoever. And then because he has such a large following, people will just believe he knows what he's talking about. And it drives me crazy. And then you'll have people like saying completely incorrect things to you, and you're like, no, what? No. And then you find out, oh, well, they heard it from Saberspark, and it's because Saberspark didn't do research. And then I just lose my mind. I don't understand why people don't like research. It's like one of my favorite parts of making videos. I lose my mind when I'm forced to listen to interviews with Mindy Kaling, but I enjoy the research part of making videos. So it's just strange to me. It's like, you make YouTube videos, you have to do research, my dude. You can't just say things unless you're doing an opinion piece. And even then, you should know a little bit. You know, you should know a little bit of what you're talking about, even if it's an opinion piece, right? It's like saying, it's like watching the Star Wars sequels, to go back to Star Wars, but you've never seen any other Star Wars movie, and you think the Star Wars sequels are very good, and then you make an opinion piece on why you can't understand why everybody hates the Star Wars sequels, because you never watched the originals and you didn't bother to watch them as research, right? It's like an insane thing to do. Even with an opinion piece, you have to do some research. You can't just say things. Somebody's saying, oh damn, to something. Oh, it's the tower you gotta watch out for in the tower, or 10 of Swords, but the tower is still necessary step in the Arcana to get to the world. Yeah, the tower is the bad one. I mean, if you've seen the art of the card, it's pretty obvious that it's not a good card. The tower just means catastrophe. It just means uprooting, upheaval, catastrophe, disaster, etc. So what's an unpopular opinion you have? Movie opinion. I'm trying to think. I know I have some. I've said that I think Zardoz is actually a good movie. Which might be, I don't know, a good movie. I do think it's a good movie, but also if people tell me they hate it, I'll be like, I fully understand. So I don't know whether that counts. I'm trying to think, what is an unpopular? Oh, I know. I think that 2010... No, not even that. I was about to say 2010 is a better movie than 2001, but it's not. I just like it more. That's not like a bad opinion. That's just like a taste thing. It's not really an opinion on the movie's quality. I'm trying to think, what is a bad movie opinion I have? I know I have some. I'm just blanking now. I'll have to think. I'll get back to you, but I know I have some. I know I have some. I'm not gonna go crazy now. I know I have a bad take. I just have to think for a bit. Maybe, like, Close Encounters is my favorite movie, right? Maybe I don't like that in certain cuts of the film, you see the inside of the mothership. Like, I don't like that version of the film, but even that's not really like a controversial take, because there's a reason that the director's cut doesn't have that, right? It's not me that's crazy. The director agrees with me. Yeah, I'm puzzling. I'm gonna have to think, because that's a difficult one, even though I know for a fact I have some. I stepped away for a second and forgot the topic, so I'm just gonna say the fitness gram pacer test is a fitness test. I will agree with you because I don't know what that means, so I will just say that you're correct. If you hadn't done the research, how would we know Mindy Kaling said, tell anyone and you're fired? Exactly. Exactly. Mindy. She drives me crazy. I don't really think about her that much. I only think about her when I think about Velma and the fact that I have to get back to writing the video. Then I remember Mindy and I'm like, oh Lord. She really did say that, didn't she? My unpopular movie opinion was that I thought The Love Guru was funny. I thought so too, but then again, I think I was like 12 when I saw it. So I'm not sure how controversial an opinion a 12-year-old can have. It's like, well, you were 12. You were stupid. It's like, yeah, fair. And I am allowed to say I was stupid as a 12-year-old because at the same time, as a 12-year-old, I thought The Princess Bride was a bad movie, right? You must understand, when I call myself a stupid 12-year-old, these are the opinions I'm dealing with here. I thought The Princess Bride was bad, and I didn't like Totoro when I was 12. I don't know what was wrong with me. I don't know what kind of paint I was huffing at that age. Something somewhere was not right. Something was not right. I'm very glad I got better. I recovered. Halloween 3 is better than any of the Michael Myers ones. That is an opinion to have. That's a strong opinion to have. I got an unpopular opinion as far as shows go. I think that Jason and Victor were the weakest part of Arcane, and every time they were focused on them, I kept saying, go back to Vi and Jinx. I mean, fair. I need to watch season 2 of Arcane. I've just been putting it off because I put off everything. And also, I heard just the cry of the internet about the fact that the second season apparently really screwed the pooch. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to watch that immediately then if that's the case. Here we go. How am I going to do this? Okay, they've just got it as like squiggles. They don't have it like too bad. My like default is I don't really have a really spiky way of doing lines, so no, I'm not too happy with that. I think I might actually have like a lightning brush. I'll have to check. Let me just check my FX brushes. The neon brush is not going to do it. Let's see what I have in effects. What's this? No, that's more of like a smoke brush. Yeah, that's not really a lightning brush now. I'll have to check. Screw it. I think Halloween 3 is really dumb. One unpopular movie opinion I have is that I used to like Chicken Little, G-Force, and Robots as a kid. I never saw Robots, but apparently that movie is not as bad as people's, like, its reputation would have you know. I've heard people willing to stand up for that movie. So I'm not sure if that's, like, secretly a good movie or not. Do I have a lightning brush anywhere? I feel like I do, but I don't know whether it's, like, on my old machine or not. Diamonds, diamonds, sparkly. Brushes, roses. Trees, flowers, leaves. What is this? Oh, sakura, flowers. Things like this. Yeah, see, it's a fire brush. Okay, gold, gold, gold. Ribbons, stitching. Poses. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Isn't this it? Yes, this is it. I knew I had some. They're just not in here for some reason. Do you not go in there? What is this? It's a brush. Yeah, it should go in here. Where is this? There we go. Okay, it just didn't want me to like do all of them for some reason. There we go. Okay, put that away. Okay, that's quite big. What I will do is I'm going to put this... Oh, well, we don't really have a background, so it might be pointless to like put it on glow or something. Oh, you know what I can do? Put this on white. Put this... Does it have a background glow on it? Oh, yes. Does it? It does kind of. Put this one here, put this one here, put this one here. No, it's just got a white glow. This one? No. This one? Ah, it's red. Okay, what I'm going to do is... I'm just going to put the blitz... Yeah, with white. And then I'm going to... I thought I could give it like an outline, but I just remembered that doesn't actually have a blur to it. So what I'm actually going to do is duplicate the layer, lock its opacity, grab the turnip pen, make it big, grab the blue, color that, take it off lock opacity, put it under, go filter, blur, Gaussian blur, whatever it's called. Make it really big. There we go. Ta-da. Done. People hate on Robots? I don't know. I've seen people defending it. I've seen people say it's actually like a good movie. Good movie or not. I've heard people say it's a good movie. One of my unpopular movie opinions is that the Amazing Spider-Man movies weren't that bad. Is it an unpopular movie opinion to say that I preferred the first Spider-Verse movie over the second one? Is that like a unpopular movie opinion? I think the second one had really interesting art direction with some of the worlds. but I found the story of the second one really cluttered. It has moments of brilliance in it, but a lot of like the stuff with the Spider-Verse headquarters or whatever it's called, like it becomes really out of control. I don't know whether that's a controversial opinion to have. I can admit 1 is alright, but 2 is a whole mess. Oh, from Amazing Spider-Man. I love all those movies. Robots is awesome. G-Force was the first film I saw in theaters, and I think Chicken Little is pretty fun, even if it's not great. I don't like Chicken Little, but I don't think it is this blight on society that a lot of people make it out as. I think it's just kind of a bad movie. I think it was made for quote-unquote the wrong reasons, and not even like really bad controversial reasons. Shrek came out, and Disney wanted Shrek. And they made a Disney movie that is like mean-spirited, does like a lot of like pop culture references, and everybody is like an asshole. That's why they made Chicken Little, and it's kind of like not a great reason to make a movie, in my opinion. But then again, Shrek was made out of spite, so I guess it works sometimes. I think Chicken Little is similar to Shark's Tale. Oh jeez. I think you can watch them a certain way, and they kind of fall into a campy category, and it's a lot of fun. Shark Tale is a movie I forget exists until somebody mentions it, and like all the memories like hit me at once. Because like the Bee Movie is a weird movie, but at least with the Bee Movie, you remember it, you know the Bee Movie. The Shark's Tale is like a Bee Movie if you forgot it existed, and then somebody reminds you of it, and like the full impact of what it is hits you all at once. And like you get flooded with images of like the car wash and like Will Smith fish and like everything that happens in that movie. And you suddenly remember it and you're like, oh Lord, that movie. Also, Home on the Range is far from the worst Disney movie ever. It's not a good movie. It's not a good movie. I don't know whether it's the worst Disney movie, because there are parts of it that is really like cringe, but I don't think it's a movie I struggle to sit through. Whereas there are Disney movies that are legitimately difficult to sit through. And I think it's also kind of badly maligned, especially in a world where Wish exists. Are we really gonna pretend Home on the Range is the worst Disney movie when Wish got made? Like, are we really gonna sit here and pretend that Home on the Range is worse than Wish? I don't think so. That's just an incorrect statement to make, right? I would even go so far as to say Frozen 2 is worse than Home on the Range. Like, straight up. Shark's Tale and Bee Movie was made by the same studio. Yeah, I know, but that's why I'm like equating them. It's just that Bee Movie has this mythic aura as the meme movie that people talk about, whereas Shark's Tale often gets forgotten. And then when I remember Shark's Tale exists, I like get Vietnam flashbacks because I forgot about the movie. And then when I remember it, it's like all of Shark's Tale hits me all at once. My movie opinion, Ice Age isn't that good of a film. I haven't watched it in a very long time. You might be right. I'd have to rewatch it. I remember it being fine, but it could be that I watch it now and I'm like, geez, this is really what we had to deal with in the 2000s. I think some people hate the humor of robots, and I think that's where they get flack. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, I do have a bad movie take. You want to hear my bad movie take? It's going to make the entirety of the chat hate me. It's going to make all of you people turn against me in an instant. My bad movie opinion, and it's truly a terrible opinion to have, but it is mine, is I don't like Howl's Moving Castle. I don't like that movie. I don't think it is a terrible movie, but I think it is a very, very weak movie. I feel like it is not narratively cohesive. I feel it is very patchwork in like how it's put together. It feels like a lot of separate ideas that was strung together to make a singular film. I don't like Howl as a character. I find him one-dimensional and uninteresting, and I am unsubscribing. I don't like Howl. I find him very one-dimensional, and although there are hints of deeper dimensions there, they never get fully developed. So it's like mentioning he has depth without ever actually showing any of it. And I don't know how to like grapple with him as a character, because he doesn't have a heart, so he doesn't have emotion, but then also he has emotion, but then I don't get it. I don't get what they're trying to do with this character. And I find that there are way too many side characters in Howl's Moving Castle that don't aid the plot in any way. I find it has a supreme lack of focus. It's really all over the place. And I can't help but feel that the only reason it is as popular as it is because it is one of the few it's one of the few Ghibli movies with an overt romance in it. Whereas most Ghibli movies do not have that, aside from like Whispers of the Heart. And I have a sneaking suspicion that is why people like it as much as they do. That's my bad movie take. I don't like it. I've watched it like 5 times in an effort to give it a chance. Like, not 5 times in a row, like 5 times at various stages of my life, trying to just get a better grip on it, or to see if I'm the problem. And it just never ever got, I'm like, no, I think I just don't like this movie because there's a lot wrong with it. And this isn't even a taste thing. It's not like Interstellar, where I'm like, I don't like Interstellar, but it's a really good movie. I don't think Howl's Moving Castle is a particularly good movie. I just don't. I find it's very incohesive and lacking in focus. So there is my extremely bad movie take for you. Howl is okay, but I definitely like other Ghibli films that I like more. Yeah, like my favorite is Castle in the Sky. Porco Rosso might be second. It's difficult because it's like Castle in the Sky and then literally everything else, and everything below Castle in the Sky is like equal footing for being my favorite, because it's like Porco Rosso, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, Totoro. Like literally any of those could be number 2 in terms of like a tier list. Maybe Porco Rosso might inch a little bit above the others as my favorite, but then I remember certain things that happened in Princess Mononoke and I'm like, I don't know, man. And then Spirited Away has like the train sequences. Like, I don't know which one of those I would put as second. It's just that Castle in the Sky is so tailor-made to exactly what I like, right? I forgive you, Sipa, for this opinion because you love Porco Rosso. Yeah, man, Porco Rosso is amazing. Ah, it's so good. Porco Rosso is so good. When I was at animation college, they made us watch the French dub of Porco Rosso specifically because the French dub of Porco Rosso has Jean Reno as the voice actor for Porco. And as far as the animators were considered at the college, Jean Reno is just such a good performer for the character of Porco that it just kind of eclipses both the English dub as well as the original Japanese. So I think I have the DVD with the French dub of Porco Rosso. Specifically, I'm not sure. I might, but I'm not entirely sure. But yes, Porco Rosso is amazing. Really, really good. I still think it's pronounced Ghibli. It is Ghibli. It's just me, because it's a G and an H next to each other. So to me, that's Ghibli, but it's a Japanese name that is based on an Italian word from a plane engine manufacturer. And I don't know, how do you say Ghibli in Italian? That might help. Google, help me. How to pronounce Ghibli in Italian. It's probably just Ghibli. Why do I have to click on a YouTube video? Can't you just tell me? Ghibli is correct for Italian. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. I thought I could just like ask Google and it'll just give me like a little pop-up where you just click on the microphone, it'll just pronounce it for me. But I can't find that. I'll have to look at like a video. And of course, if you type in Ghibli, a lot of the results are talking about the studio. And I'm like, no, I want to know the Italian, like the original word, like the plane engine. I need what do they call the plane engine manufacturer? They eat a lot of spaghetti in Porco Rosso, and I love spaghetti. Are you quoting me? Is that like something I'd say? Because honestly, sometimes that's the kind of opinion I have. I will admit that. That's fair. Howl's Moving Castle is very fun and charming, but I do agree it's kind of more pretty to me. I like the visuals and concepts more than anything. Yeah, I think also, let me check something. Was Kazuo Oga the background artist for Howl's Moving Castle? Howl's Moving Castle background artist. Art of Howl's Moving Castle. Maybe it'll be like under the credits here. Again, if this is going to take too long, I'll just give up and look it up after the stream. I've kind of finished Vox over here. So now I'm just chatting. Yeah, I can chat for a little bit more, then it'll be midnight. And then we will have... How long is the streaming going? Oh, that's frozen, so I can't check. Brilliant. As far as that little window is concerned, we've been streaming for an hour. Oh, here we go. About 3 hours. Yeah, I can go a little bit. I think I just say Ghibli. Yeah, I just pronounce it because there's a G and an H next to each other. That's why I say Ghibli. But the Japanese pronunciation is Ghibli. Voice cast, themes, production. Okay, no, they don't have it easily here. Maybe it'll be in like on IMDb or something. Because the thing is, what my point is I'm not the biggest fan of Howl's Moving Castle's art style because I find it very oversaturated. I find the colors very oversaturated in a way that I'm not super fond of. And it made me wonder if Kazuo Oga did the backgrounds for Howl's Moving Castle, because Kazuo Oga's color usage is generally, sorry, I hiccuped, is generally not that saturated. It tends to be a lot better in how it handles light. So I'm unsure if he worked on the backgrounds, but I do know that the color director for Ghibli's previous movies, I believe she passed away shortly after Spirited Away. I think it was, yeah, it was shortly after Spirited Away. She passed away, I believe, from cancer. And so the Ghibli movies moving forward after Spirited Away did not have her as a color director. So I'm not super fond of how colors look in the Ghibli movies after Spirited Away. And I don't know whether that's because of the switch to digital or if it's because the loss of the color director. I don't know whether it's to do with Kazuo Oga. I'm not sure what it is, but something after Spirited Away shifted in how the films look, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. And it's not just like, oh, Howl's Moving Castle. It's got the same look in Ni no Kuni. It kind of has the same problem, and I know Ni no Kuni is a video game, but in the cutscenes for Ni no Kuni, it has the same kind of really saturated look to it. Ponyo as well, even though the backgrounds in Ponyo, I believe they were done with either watercolor or colored pencil. I forget which. I haven't seen Ponyo in a while. But something changed, and it was between Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, and I'm not super fond of the colors moving forward. And it might be one thing, it might be several things, but something there just changed, and I'm not as big a fan. I made it to a stream, damn. I'm listening to the stream in the car like it's a podcast. Also, don't worry, I'm part-typing this. You know what, it's a good thing you said that, but I genuinely did not even register that you would have to have typed that while driving. I need to watch more Ghibli movies. All I've seen is Mononoke. I've got to get more cultured in this field. I mean, Mononoke is a good one. Mononoke is like one of the best movies that studio's ever done. Straight up, like Castle in the Sky is my favorite, but if I had to rank them in terms of skill or like quality, Princess Mononoke would probably be number one. Spirited Away might be like tie for number one, but it's between Mononoke and Spirited Away. As far as Miyazaki movies go, at least. If you're going to include Takahata movies, you've got a whole another set of films on the field, as it were. Because I'm not sure, if you're going to include Takahata, I don't know whether, not Mononoke, what's the other one? Princess Kaguya. I don't know whether Princess Kaguya might also be in the running between Mononoke and Spirited Away. It might be. If it's anything, it's between those three films in terms of like Ghibli as a whole. And everybody's got their favorites. Like I know people who say The Cat Returns is their favorite Ghibli movie. But in terms of best, that's like a different grading system in my opinion. I was driving listening to this. I was just waiting for an order. I gotta shove off now. Gotta get groceries. Thanks for hanging out, da boy. Sorry I didn't say hi because I like saying your name. It's funny. Do the background artist on House Moving Castle work on Made in the Abyss? No. Who did? Well, I'm not going to look that up. It's going to take too long. Made in Abyss has a different background artist. It's not the same guy who did House Moving Castle, because the Ghibli crew tend to kind of be like Disney, where they've got their guys and those guys work with that studio. I mean, a lot of anime studios are like that, but you will get some crossover here and there where certain people will animate for different studios and such. But if you think like KyoAni had their animators that were their guys, and Trigger have their guys, and Gainax had their guys. In the same way, like Ghibli has like their stable of creators, and I think they're pretty insular in that they keep those people there, kind of thing. They don't really want their stable of creators to go off and work for other studios and get headhunted. So I don't think so, but I mean, it's possible, right? I'd have to double check. Mononoke I should watch, and I need to get Heron another go to see if I get it. I need to get to Heron. The only reason I haven't yet is, isn't it like 3 hours long or something? As soon as the movie hits 3 hours, I have trouble to like sit down and make the time to watch it, because getting through a 3-hour movie can take me like 4 hours because I like get up and I grab snacks, or I get something to drink, or I check my phone quickly. I don't check my phone while watching, but I'll get like something on my phone and I'll just have to check it quickly, and then I get up again, etc. So a 3-hour movie, I have to like I have to set aside like a day and be like, okay, for this movie, I'm gonna sit down and focus. It's just over 2. Okay, then I need to get to actually watching that, especially because it's on Netflix, and I need to watch it before they take it off Netflix, because otherwise it's going to be annoying. Thoughts on Boy and the Heron? Yeah, I need to watch it. 2 hours and 4 minutes? Okay, no, what was it? It must have been like, I'm probably thinking of Princess Kaguya then. I think Princess Kaguya is 3 hours, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong. Let me have a look. Go to Netflix, go here. I hope yes, I have Netflix muted. Annual reminder, okay, blah, blah, blah. Princess Kaguya. Okay, it would help if I spelt it correctly. Princess Kaguya. Oh no, it's also 2 hours and 17 minutes. Okay, why am I thinking it's like 3 hours? I don't know. Okay, well, I was wrong about that. It's also, like, not 3 hours. Okay. I remember seeing Grave of the Fireflies as a child. Ugh! Why? Okay, now I saw that. The longest Ghibli movie I've seen is Tale of Princess Kaguya. I think that might be where I'm getting confused. I think it's the longest one. Is Earwig and the Witch as bad as people say? I've not watched it because it looks horrendous. It looks really bad. And as sad as it is to say, I don't have much faith in Goro Miyazaki's abilities as a filmmaker based on his past work, which sucks, but I mean, that's the reality of the situation. The best thing about Tales of Earthsea is the fact that it got me to read the novels, and it has a really, really good art book. That's the best thing about that movie, is the fact that its art book is amazing, and I read the novels as a result. That's not good. But yeah, Goro, no. I don't think I like him as a filmmaker. And then the fact that he was like, oh, we're going to make a CG Ghibli movie directed by Goro Miyazaki. And I'm like, yeah, I'll pass. That sounds awful. That does not sound like a good time to any degree. Grave of the Fireflies left me exceptionally annoyed. I mean, I can see that. I can understand how some people can really how that movie can hit for you in a way where you just don't appreciate what it's trying to say. and you feel like you're being lectured at. I don't have that response to it myself, but I have heard that before, where people say that they're not really into the film because they feel like the film is lecturing them. Because to a certain degree, it kind of is. I mean, it was made for a Japanese audience in the 80s who were like the young people whose parents went through World War II. So like, to a certain degree, the movie is lecturing you as an audience member. But yeah, I do know that there are people who just like can't get through it because of that. I remember getting the trailer for that in front of someone and thinking, what the hell is this? Yeah, no, just no, avoid it. I would rather play Ni no Kuni than I would watch whatever the hell it's called. Earwig. What a terrible name as well. Earwig and the Witch. Why? Why are you putting the word earwig in your movie title? That's not good. I don't want to know about that. I would say that the Earthsea anime is better than the Sci-Fi Channel. Oh, would you say that the Earthsea movie is better than the Sci-Fi Channel movie adaptation? Absolutely. Like 1000%. I don't know what they were doing with the Sci-Fi Channel movie adaptation, what the hell it is. But also, Earthsea, it's got this thing which I don't even know if people are aware of this, even though Ursula Le Guin has said so multiple times. Within the setting of Earthsea, the majority of characters are based off of Native Americans. They're not white. They're copper toned, for lack of a better word, because Earthsea doesn't take place on Earth, so they are not exactly Native Americans, but that is who she based them on. There is one country in Earthsea where people are fair-skinned, and it's like a really tiny nation up in the north which aren't doing very well. And the reason she did that is because her father was an anthropologist who worked with the Native American tribes. So Ursula Le Guin wrote that book with the intent of the characters reflecting Native American culture and Taoism. So she has a massive problem, and she has said this several times, that any book cover that depicts the characters as white, she disavows. Because that is like when she sends out the book to people, she will make a note. Like she made a note in her notes that she would send to the publishers, which like, listen, don't do this. And there are some publishers that would still do it. And she would be like, you know why you're doing it. I know why you're changing the race of the character for the cover of the book. You need to stop, because that is not the book I wrote. Anyway, my point is the Sci-Fi Channel version falls flat on its face before it even got started. It's also like the worst movie ever, but even before you even get out of the gate, it's already failed. It's already tripped and fallen flat. There's like no saving it. Funny how Grave of the Fireflies was released on the exact same day as My Neighbor Totoro. What a contrast between these movies. They were released as a double feature. Like, you would go to the movies and you would watch them back to back. You start with Grave of the Fireflies, and then Totoro would be afterwards. And it would be kind of so that people don't leave the theaters just a complete emotional mess because of Grave of the Fireflies. Like, they're purposely released as double features. There's a Sci-Fi Channel adaptation of Earthsea. Yeah. Random Hamlet says they were trying to be Lord of the Rings. Exactly. Like, the Sci-Fi Channel was trying to do like a Lord of the Rings, and they were like, what other fantasy book can we turn into a Lord of the Rings thing? We can't do Narnia because that's already being made into movies. Oh, we'll do Earthsea. And then they just made every single mistake that you could possibly make with an adaptation on like a TV movie budget, and it's just the worst. It's just the worst in like so many ways. It's like amazing the amount of ways that movie just fails. Not even as an adaptation, just as a movie. It's so bad. Hey, Prophet of Puns. The last 3-hour movie that I saw in the cinema was The Batman, and I had to stand up halfway through, just walk around for a minute or two halfway through the film. I've not seen The Batman. That seems like a movie that came, and then nobody really talked about it, and then it left. I don't even know if the movie is good. I don't know. Because Robert Pattinson is a good actor. I almost said actress. Robert Pattinson is a good actor. So I don't know whether the movie is good or not, because it seems like nobody really talks about it, ever. It's peak. That could mean, it could mean it's really good, or it could mean it's really bad. This is off topic, but one of my favorite things with the Nintendo Direct, when they announced the Virtual Boy, there's like a compilation of people reacting to the Virtual Boy announcement, and so many of like some of the younger VTuber guys are like, yo, it's Peak, bro, Peak is back on the menu, and it's so funny to me. It's Kino. Okay, no, so it's like actually good. Okay, it's good to know. I might check it out because I do like Batman, and I do think Robert Pattinson is like a good actor. And it would be nice to see a Batman thing that isn't Christopher Nolan. Because again, well, I said it makes sense because I just said I don't really like Interstellar, but I think it's a good movie. I just don't like Christopher Nolan's directing style. Because I don't hate his Batman movies. I think they're good, and I can watch and enjoy them. But they don't like make me feral. They don't like make me excited. You know, I don't get like worked up and really, really hyped when I watch them. I just kind of watch them and I'm like, yeah, that's a good movie. It's fine, you know. Versus like Under the Red Hood, which I just lose my mind at that movie. Like legitimately to this day, I'll say that Batman Under the Red Hood is the best Batman movie, and I will stand by that. What's all the only person before Earwig's climbing in your ear? I don't really know what you mean by that, but yeah, Earwig and the Witch, or whatever it's called. Terrible name. Absolutely terrible name. I've never heard of the Sci-Fi Channel adaptation. I'm curious now. If you feel like having an aneurysm, I recommend looking up a YouTube review or essay about it. I don't recommend sitting down and watching it because it's legitimately that bad. It will be a lot more fun to watch somebody else lose their mind watching it just because it's so terrible. They don't stick in your brain. Yeah, I guess that's a way to put it. Like, Batman Under the Red Hood, I think I can... When I think about a Batman movie, I think of that movie just because of the way it's done. The worst thing about Under the Red Hood is the fact that Mark Hamill is not in it. You know, it's got the Joker, but he's not being voiced by Mark Hamill. And that's the worst thing about that movie. And if that's the worst thing about your movie, then you've got a pretty good Batman movie, in my opinion. What about the Tim Burton Batman movies? I mean, they're fine. I don't know whether I like them more than the Nolan movies. I do like Batman Returns quite a bit, but I don't know if I should probably do that one day, like sit down and watch basically all the Batman movies back to back. Not the animated ones, just the live action ones. If I did the animated ones, I'd be there forever. But like watch all the live action Batman movies back to back and like see how they compare and like figure out what my opinion is. Although I would have to leave out the Adam West Batman movie specifically because if I added that one, it would be my favorite for all the wrong reasons. Because it's exactly the kind of cheesy garbage that I would think is the best thing ever. And then I will be sitting there and I'll be like, yeah, the best Batman movie is the Adam West one because it's insane and ridiculous. And then everybody on the internet is going to hate me because I have terrible taste. And it's like, no, I know I have terrible taste. So I think I'm going to have to like marathon them and leave that one out because it's got an unfair advantage by being insane. And that's going to appeal to me way too much. I'm not going to watch the adaptation itself, but I'm going to watch a review of it to see how effed up it is. Yeah, do that. Don't watch it. It's not worth your time. Just watch a review. Save yourself the pain. Under the Red Hood is so good. Also the comics. Jason Todd is so great when he's not being written bad. Yeah, that's true of like most DC characters though. Batman is also very good when he's not being written bad. As is Superman. As is Superman and Batman when they are together. I've considered watching Velma, but I simply can't, man. I can't. Would Daria be a good palate cleanser? I think so. Like, Daria is what Velma desperately wants to be, except for the fact that Daria is, like, actually funny. Daria is, like, actually funny and witty and infinitely quotable. And it does what Velma is trying to do, and it does it successfully. And it's a good show. It's just a good show. Completely unrelated, did you ever see the 1993 movie Dracula Rising? I did not, but I think that the Dracula craze of the 90s kind of hit when I was slightly too young for it. So a lot of those movies kind of went past me, and I would have to like consciously go back and watch them as an adult. And vampires are not really like something, I don't dislike it, but it's not like one of those things where I like get super interested in them. It's not something that automatically piques my interest. There are other things where the subject matter alone is enough to get me interested, but vampires just aren't that. Where can I borrow Velma? You would have to check a certain site with W and the letter C and also the letter O. So if you look for a site that might consist of those three letters, it is possible that it might help you in finding where to locate it, shall I say. Man, I would just tell you, but I'm streaming on Google here. I watched Velma after C-Puff's video, didn't watch season 2 when it first came out. I crave punishment, I guess. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna probably say this in like the final thoughts of Velma. If you don't get rage baited by it, it's really boring because it only really has rage bait going for it. And it doesn't even really believe any of the things it says. It's just saying things to rage bait you. And if you know that, you're not going to get upset about it. And then the show has nothing to offer you except for really good visuals. Because the show has an animation team that it does not deserve. Because it's got the Warner Brothers animation team behind it. And the Warner Brothers animation team are phenomenal in what they do. And they got stuck working on Velma. It's terrible. HJ Fires is saying goodnight. Oh, here we go. Gotta go soon because I got birthday stuff to do tomorrow. Oh, happy birthday! And I hope you have a good birthday. Yeah, I'm gonna say goodnight in a bit. I'm just kind of chatting so that I don't, stream too short for you guys. Rage bait? Yeah. Like when the show is like purposefully trying to make you angry at it, it's trying to get you to be like angry at what it's saying. It's trying to instigate you on purpose. It's trying to make you like annoyed and infuriated by what it has to say. But again, it's trying to do that without being authentic in anything it's saying. It's just saying things because they know it'll annoy you. And I don't know why it's trying to do that. I mean, I have guesses, but they're guesses that don't reflect well on people like Mindy Kaling, and I don't know her as a real person in real life. So I can't make assumptions on what she's really like simply based on a cartoon and the way that she conducts herself in interviews. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, Mindy Kaling is just rage baiting you because it fuels her victim mentality, because I don't know what she's like as a person. I can just say what the show is like and what it's like watching it. And if you don't fall for the rage bait, it's just really painful and cringe and very, very boring. and that's kind of what all it has going for it. Forgot about that, sorry, I brought it up because it's one of those weird horror films that I thought it was a weird staying up too late dream of you. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. What did I have that was like that? I don't know, I feel like there is a movie or two where I thought that was a weird dream and then I found it later. You might also want the letter M. That's basically it. It's boring and it's not funny. Yeah, there are funny things in it, believe it or not, but 90% of the things that are funny in Velma are things that are done by the art team, like things in the background. There is a great joke in the second season of Velma where the Hex Girl, I forget what, Thorn. When Thorn is opening up her esoteric bookstore, like her witchcraft bookstore, it has a big banner out front that says opening and closing down sale. And that's legitimately funny. Like, that's one of the few things that actually made me laugh in the show. So I can't say that there's nothing in the show. I think there's like 3 jokes that made me laugh. It was the opening and closing down banner. It was Fred yelling at his mom's ghost saying, "If it's you, give us a sign." And then he turns around when nothing happens and he goes, "It is her ghost, she's ignoring me." That's actually a legitimate funny joke. And there's a joke I left out in the very first episode where the first guy who gets killed walks into his apartment and he thinks somebody's there and it ends up being the killer, but he thinks it's a girlfriend or somebody he slept with. And he goes, "If this is about the herpes, I can explain. I have herpes." And I don't know, that just made me laugh. I think because it was unexpected and it was the first episode and it came out of nowhere and it was so stupid, it just made me laugh. So it made me laugh 3 times. I can say that Velma has 3 jokes in it that I thought were funny. So yay, good job, I guess. In like, what, 10 episodes, I laughed 3 times? Okay. You'd like Batman Return of the Cape Crusader, animated one, Web West, Adam West returns as Batman. I don't know. Because I feel like, I know which one you're talking about. I feel like that's one that's maybe a little bit too self-aware for its own good. Like, it's purposefully trying to be a cheesy 60s Superman show, and then when it does that, trying to be cheesy, it kind of stops working for me, because then it just becomes obnoxious. I prefer it if, like, the cheese is slightly unintentional. Like self-aware, but also kind of unintentional, but not like purposefully trying to be as cheesy as possible, because then it just comes across as insincere and I cringe. I hate insincerity. That's like my least favorite thing in anything, is when something is insincere. I hate it. I hate it when things are disingenuine or insincere or like purposefully trying too hard to be something it's not. And I think that's also why Velma, like, just annoys me, because that's kind of what the entire show is. And it's like, okay, whatever. Mine was Fred joining the church because he thought they teach him magic missile. I mean, that's pretty good too. Like, the joke falls flat in the episode because of the delivery. The delivery of the joke is not very good, but the concept of the joke is very good. Like, the idea that Fred joins the church to learn magic missile is funny, but then the way they deliver the joke, it really falls flat on its face, which is really disappointing, because yeah, that is one where it's like, that could be hilarious, but you really didn't land it. The delivery is lacking. The team doesn't care about Velma or Fred or Daphne or Shaggy, and certainly not Scooby-Doo. Why did they make Velma? I ask myself that question every day. They made Velma because Mindy Kaling wanted an adult cartoon. That is the only answer I can think of, is she wanted one and she could not get it greenlit as an original production, so she latched onto an IP. And that was the one that they were willing to give her. Like, I don't know that that's the reason, but that is my best guess as to how we got here. I can't think of any other reason why she'd do this, because I don't know whether Mindy Kaling cares. I don't think she cares about animation. I don't think so. She does not give me the impression as somebody who gives a crap about animation. I barely know whether she likes filmmaking. I genuinely don't. I don't know whether she likes it or not. She strikes me as the kind of person where filmmaking is a vehicle for her to promote herself. I don't get the impression that she actually likes it. But again, I don't know her as a person, so that might be completely incorrect. But I think I can say with some authority that I don't think she cares about animation at the very least. And then there's the question, well, why make an animated show? And then my guess is, well, she wanted one. She wanted an animated show in which she could star, because a lot of adult animated cartoons have become very, very popular, and I think she just wanted one that was hers. And again, I can't say whether that's true or not. That's just the impression I get. Fred is objectively the funniest part. It's probably because they wanted us to hate him. So they just wrote him being really, really, really stupid. And as a result, he's the funniest part of the show. So it completely backfired. What do you mean by insincere? When somebody is doing something that is not a true representation of who they are, what their feelings are, or what they think about things, they are putting on a false image because they want you to like them. Meaning they will say things and do things which they don't actually believe or isn't a real representation of who they are as a person, because they are trying to match what they think you will like. And they are doing it in a way which is very insistent and in a kind of manner a little desperate to a certain degree. And in Velma's case, it's not so much trying to do that to make you like it, it's trying to do that to get you to dislike it. Because at least negative attention is still attention. Like that's why I say it's insincere. It's not saying these really instigating things because it believes in them. It's saying them because it knows it'll piss you as the audience off. So it's saying things it doesn't really believe. It's just saying it because it knows it'll annoy you. And then the only winning move is not to play. You know, the only way to, if somebody's going to play stupid games with you, the only way you can not get dragged into it and not have to deal with that is just not engage with them, you know? And if their little stupid game is to rage bait you, what kind of reaction can you have except to be like, oh, okay. Because if you react in any other way, you're just playing you lose. You lose the game. Because the screwed up game is to make you upset. So you have no choice but to be like, okay, whatever. I'm not interested in doing this nonsense with you. Wasn't she an actress who played a character in The Office? Yes, that was her big break, I believe. People not caring about animation, working on animations. Yeah. Although I don't know how much she really had to do with the show. She's the producer and she does one of the lead characters. But she's not a writer. Charlie Day is a writer. I just don't know because I wasn't there as to how much she was hovering over his shoulder, telling him to do certain things. I don't know. And the thing is, Charlie Day didn't write every episode. He was like he wrote 1 or 2 episodes and they had other writers under him who wrote specific episodes, and he was like the writing supervisor or something. And that's why when I was calling out the writers of the Breakfast Club episode, I didn't just throw Charlie Day's face on screen, and I specifically showed the writers of that episode because I didn't want to unfairly accuse Charlie Day of writing decisions that he did not make. I didn't name the writers because I didn't want people to go after them, but I was like, I can't just blame this on Charlie Day when he's not the person who wrote this episode. That's unfair. Just as it's unfair to blame Mindy Kaling for some of the writing when she wasn't the writer. But at the same time, I don't know how much she had a hand in, because there's a lot of it where I'm like, well, this feels like Mindy Kaling based on everything else she's made that didn't involve Charlie Day. So yeah, you can drive yourself mad trying to understand the reasoning, but really at the end of the day, it's a bad show, and that's mostly what I focus on. Because if I were to try and make broad statements on Mindy Kaling in the videos itself, I'm speculating on a live stream. But if I'm going to make a structured video, I'm not going to speculate on her motivations or thought process because I don't know what it is. Because she hasn't said. She's only said market speech. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what's going on. But, I can speculate on the live stream. But with a video, I'd rather just talk about why the show is bad. Charlie Day, isn't he from It's Always Sunny? I think so. He's worked on other things that are good, but he's also worked with Mindy Kaling on a lot of her projects which were not. So again, is it him? Is it her? Is it when she's overseeing him? What about this dynamic is not working? There's something going wrong here and I don't know what it is. Gotta go. See you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out, HJ Fires. And I think I need to say, 3 minutes, then it could be 3 minutes and it's going to be midnight. I'm tripping over my words because I need water. And my water bottle is all the way over there and I can't reach it. So I'll drink some after stream. But I'll say goodnight in a bit. So does Kaling just suck at creating then? I don't know. I think, because the thing is, I don't watch a lot of her work. but I've watched people who have seen everything she makes, and a criticism I see a lot is people say that every character she plays is literally the same character and it's just her. Like, people are like, oh, well, maybe she's a good actress. And I'm like, maybe, but from what I've seen, from what people who actually watch her stuff say, is she just plays the same character in everything she's in, and shows that she then has like a producer role on. She isn't like starring in it. The character that's meant to be her self-insert, again, is just her. She seems incapable of playing anyone else that isn't just her. She self-inserts herself, yeah, and she does that with everything. And it seems to be a common criticism of hers. Not even from me. I see that from people who watch her like over and over, and they say, why is it always the same person? And I included it in the first Velma video. I've seen a real pushback by people who are Indian, who say they are really tired of Mindy Kaling, like really pushing her identity as an Indian person, but then also pushing this narrative of like, oh, well, you know, I'm Indian. That means I'm fat and nerdy. And I've seen a lot of people who are Indian who are like, Mindy Kaling, you do not speak for us. And they're really, really annoyed that is the narrative she pushes in every single thing she's in. She always plays the character who's like, well, I'm fat and Indian. And it's like, why? Why every single time? Me either, yeah. That's what I've heard. I know a lot of Indian people find her exhausting. Yeah, and I'm saying this not as like somebody speaking for them. I'm saying this because I specifically looked up the information because of the race change of the characters. And I was like, well, what are some of the opinions on that? Which aren't just people on Twitter screaming about it. And I was surprised to find that is a very large amount of people who are really tired of that. And they're like, Mindy needs to stop speaking as if she's some kind of representative because we find her annoying. Really, the only thing she's done where I think is where I can be like, oh, well, that's good, is she does Disgust in Inside Out. And from what I've seen, that is like the one character where she's like inoffensive, is playing Disgust. Which, of course, the character that Mindy Kaling plays is like the bitchy one, if I can put it that way. You know what I mean. Sounds like she's breaking one of the first rules of acting. Understanding who your character is, getting into their mindset, not just playing yourself, right? Self-inserts are not characters. Yeah, this is a bit of a jump, but it makes me think of like Klaus Kinski, where there's a big debate on whether Klaus Kinski is actually or was a good actor or not. Specifically because Klaus Kinski was a horrendous person. He was like an actual monster. And people don't know whether he is a good actor or if he was just very good at being Klaus Kinski. And because he worked with Werner Herzog just knew how to make Klaus Kinski be the most Klaus Kinski he was, which would then translate into a good performance, when really it was just Klaus Kinski being himself, which is to say a horrendous human being. Like a genuinely terrible person. Not even in a like, oh, Mindy Kaling infuriates me. Like Klaus Kinski is like actually like that man should have been in jail kind of bad person, right? But it makes me wonder whether Mindy Kaling is the same kind where it's like, I don't know, are you a good actress or are you just good at playing yourself? Because I'm not entirely sure, because one is not the other. I like her performance as Disgust a lot in the first Inside Out. Yeah, because that's like the one thing I can think of, and I'm like, well, she's good in that. Like, she's genuinely good in that movie, but again, is she just playing herself? That's what I'm unsure about. I'm bad at sport, but it's not because I'm a woman, it's because I, the person, don't like exercise. To blame it on my gender would be misogyny. Mindy should know better. Yeah, that's what she does. Even in like the interviews before Velma came out, like the way she was talking about the backlash people were giving her for making Velma the character Indian, that was like one of her points, was like, oh, well, you know, she's nerdy. I don't know how to tell these people this, but nerdy Indians do exist, ha ha ha. And it took me like a long time to understand what the hell she was talking about. And then somebody who was American had to point out to me, well, there's a stereotype in America that Indian people are really, really into like tech because so much of Microsoft's help centers are outsourced to India. That's like a stereotype. I didn't know that existed. We have a large Indian population in my country, and that's not a stereotype here at all. So she was saying this like, haha, nerdy Indian, like I was supposed to know the stereotype. And I'm like, Mindy, what the hell are you talking about? I made her Indian like me. Solely so she can shit on the fact that the character is Indian. Exactly. She makes the character Indian and then makes fun of the fact that the character is Indian. It's bizarre. Me, a fellow woman, bruh. My favorite one is William Shatner is a great actor for Captain Kirk. He is Kirk, however. Kirk is the only character Shatner can play. Yeah, but I mean, he is pretty good at Captain Kirk. Is Katie dealing with internalized racism? That I can't answer because I don't know her like that. And I am also not American, and I am also not Indian, and I also don't live in Hollywood. So that is not something I can answer. I can only answer the weird things she decides to do in the project she stars in. And most of it I find baffling. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't get it. The way she treats Velma, yeah. Like, it's weird. It's this self-deprecation. But then it's also like, it's this weird thing of like, haha, I don't care if you like me because I don't care. I don't care whether you like me, but also I'm going to insult myself before you can insult me. Isn't that funny and endearing that I don't like myself? But also I don't care whether you like me. And in fact, I'm going to instigate you so that you don't like me. And then because you don't like me, I get to say like, haha, you don't like me. That means you're a bad person. But then also I'm going to be self-deprecating. It's like, I don't understand. I don't get it. The weird mind games, dude. It's just like, no, why? Why are you like this? Or rather, why do you conduct yourself like this in interviews and write characters like this? I don't know if you're like this in person, but you sure do act this way in every character you play, and you also act this way in every interview you give. So why is your public persona this way, I suppose? Does she think Velma is a good character? Does she think bitchy, mean, arsehole are actually good? Does she have zero self-awareness, or is she really that awful? I don't know. I don't know! And the thing is, the second Velma was like hated on by the entire internet, she stopped talking about it and she never talks about it again. She acts like it didn't happen, which, granted, is the best response to a disaster like this. But it's weird to me that she was like, oh, passion project, this is me, blah, 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 I love this, blah, blah, blah. And then when nobody liked it, she's like, Velma who? Suddenly I can't read. Who is she? You know, it's just weird behavior to me. The store didn't have my chicken. I'm so sorry, Brian. Somehow I am still here, even though I said I'd go to bed in like I think I said I'd go to bed like 10 minutes ago. Is she self-aware that Velma is an arsehole, but also I think she thinks it's endearingly an arsehole? Yeah, like, I don't know. I also don't know if she thinks that's what being a comedian is, because, you know, The Office has a certain kind of style to its comedy, and I don't know whether she thinks that's what being a comedian is. So she thought, well, you just do the same thing in animation because that's what's funny, not understanding that animation has an entire language of film on its own, and you can't just do the exact same things in live action because it's not going to translate properly. Again, I don't know. She baffles me. Her motivations baffles me. But luckily, I don't have to try and understand her. I just have to look at the product she made and be like, wow, this is terrible, right? And I could, like, try and psychoanalyze to understand how we got to this end product, but that's not really my expertise. My window of expertise is looking at the finished animation piece and being like, this is why it's a bad piece of animation. Or rather, badly written piece of animation because it's failed its artists, because the actual animators and background artists for that show are really, really talented and they deserve a better show. A jerk, Sue. Velma isn't allowed to be pathetic and vulnerable enough to be human, nor charismatic enough to pull off fun to watch. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, she wants to be relatable, but she doesn't want to be vulnerable. So we have this horrible middle ground where she's neither. It's awful. Hey Kay, I'm actually about to say goodnight because I need some water. And I've been, luckily with this little VTuber rig model thing I've got, you're not just staring at my static screen of a art piece as I'm yapping. Like, at least there's a little bouncing avatar that can, like, signify it's me talking. It's at least something, right? The 12 principles of animation exist. They exist. Please, Kaling. No, animation is a different medium. No, exactly. Like, literally, though. These damn ads keep interrupting. I have them set to, like, every... I've set them to it's one every 18 minutes. I don't know if you're getting them that often. Because, yeah, on my side, I've only put them for, like, once every 18 minutes. Because I figured, well, it's longer than 15, but it's shorter than 20, right? And that seemed like a good idea to me. Anyway, I need to say goodnight because I'm tripping over my words. And I need to drink some water. And tomorrow is Saturday. And I've got corrections I need to do. So I'm getting them a lot more often. That's weird. Because like I said, I only have them every 18 minutes. I don't know why that's happening. I'm going to have to look in the back end. Because it should not be playing more often than 18 minutes then. Unless that's like a YouTube thing and they've like changed how they do automated ads. I'll double check because yeah, it should not be more than 18 minutes because I'm not somebody here who wants an ad every 5 minutes because that's frustrating and annoying. And no, I want you guys to actually enjoy a stream, not be aggravated by ads. Anyway, I'm gonna say goodnight. I have to do corrections tomorrow, so I'm working tomorrow, at least for a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. And then I'm back to work on Monday. And I'll see you guys for the next stream, probably late December. I'll have to think. I have to time it so I'm not like streaming when it's actually the time people are with their families. Because, yeah. Unless there are sometimes people, when it's the holidays, they'll spend time with their families, but then they actually do want a stream in the evening. Maybe. I'll see closer to the time. Maybe I'll do a poll or something. Anyway, let me stop the music. Stop that. Turn off loop. And do my little end card here. There we go. And I shall see you guys next month at some point. I'll do a poll as to what people would prefer. Like, closer to the holidays or like before the real Christmas rush. I'll see what people say. But bye, guys. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye.